All right, what's up, everybody? A little bit of a different tempo here. That is an amazing song, so please go support the artist. That is called that's the channel called Liquid Bloom. That's all called The Face of Love. And I just thought I'd mix it up. I'm really into the white right now. I actually I usually, when I have a glass of wine, it's red. But I started making, and of course you got to look at the signs in your life. I started making, for my food, I started going to like a lemon caper. I love lemon caper butter sauce, and I can eat it with anything, man. I can eat it with chocolate. But I started making that, and one of the requirements is a white wine. And it just randomly popped into my head. Of course, everything's all scripted, and so I've been digging this Blanco white wine, and so I just thought maybe to come into this Let's Talk Tarot 5, we would come in with some white, right? Of course, we have a new room. Welcome to the new room. I got my best friend, my spirit animal over my left shoulder, the jaguar, which is huge here in Mexico, and I'm wearing the sunglasses not to look cool, so don't get all your panties or underwear in a bunch there. It's to remind you that you're inside of a freaking movie, baby. Yeah. That's what the sunglasses means, that you're being watched. So next time you draw the shades and you don't think anybody's looking when you're doing the cha-cha-cha, trust me, you're being watched. Every little slide in and out and all that kind of crazy stuff, it's being watched. It's being observed. Now, you don't have to agree with me. You can just sit with that. But I just would ask you to consider that notion. So to the left and right-hand side of me on the wall, I have these two cards right here. The Seven of Hearts, or the Seven of Cups, and the Nine of Cups. Of course, these are ones that I had created. And let me take these off. So that creates the 97 or the 79, which 97 is the 45th prime number, and that's going to lead to Pandora's box, and 79 is the 22nd prime number, which is going to lead to gold. That's because we are in Pandora's box. You can bet your bottom dollar you're inside a Pandora's box, and your body, your temple is a mini Pandora's box. And then you're giving energy to whatever's harvesting that. And we can go off and branch off into a million different directions from there, but that's what that looks like. Okay. Today's card for February 25th is the Five of Clubs. I'm sorry, no, it's not. Excuse me. It's the King of Clubs. Excuse me. The King of Clubs, which is my spirit card, right? Which I didn't plan on doing this. I was like randomly just, hey, let's talk tarot. I don't know. I just follow the voice in my head, and there you go. Bam! The King of Clubs. And that's going to be, the King of Wands. Card 35/36. Okay? Card 35 and 36. So let's talk tarot, baby. Let's talk tarot. Let me get some more music going on here. And I'll start looking at some of your comments. We got some moody ambient cyberpunk going on in the background. This is called Ultrapolis. Might as well get the mood going on here. And so everything's tarot, man, during this session right here. We're going to maybe branch off into some numerology. Consider that the word tarot in Chaldean numerology is going to equal the number 18. And 18 is the Five of Clubs. It's a 5. 5 fingers, 5 toes, 5 senses. Wow, 5. Oh, yeah, the 5 is big. All the 5s. 5 is the pentagram. 5 is how you use your throat chakra. How you sell yourself, how you market yourself. And that's this is card 18. And the 18th card in the major arcana is, look how amazing Chaldean numerology is. It's the frickin' moon, and the moon is the secrets to the universe, right? Tied to the secrets. Is the moon running this reality? Does it have any say in running this reality? Is there really Christoph sitting on the moon looking down over Earth and just laughing and having a good old time? Does Ed Harris live on the moon? That's kind of funny. But the cards on the left hand and right hand side of me, again, I wanted to get into those. The first one is the Nine of Hearts, the Nine of Cups. This is the 45th card in the deck. This is Pandora's box right here. See, this is not you. Now, when you get these cards, yes, you could say, well, that's me. I'm getting the results of the cards, but, well, you're being used. So if you go a fractal outside of your reality, you're being used as an instrument, just like when you take a pen. When you grab this pen and you're like, oh, I'm going to go write something. You think this pen has a choice? You think the pen's going to say, no, no, don't write with me. No, you don't have, hey, dude, guess what? You're doing what I tell you what to do. Well, that's whatever's running this reality. My final answer is that's exactly what it's doing. It's the simplicity of a pen. You're the pen, I'm the pen. And it writes whatever the hell it wants to write. Oh, go here, go there. And it's narrated and dictated by the voice in your head. And everybody has one of those. You probably talk to it all the time like I do. But anyway, this is the 9 of Cups. This is wishes, hopes, dreams being fulfilled. 9 is completion, endings and completion. The Cups is hearts. The heart is fulfilled. And then the card to the right of me is the 7 of Cups, card number 42/43. And it's, you see that black figure right there? That's God. God's like, oh my God, I have all these. And so I made on with the card to the right of me, I've made it in a modernized version. There's all the television screens. It's kind of like when you grab the remote control, your remote control and you say, oh, my TV's over here. I'm gonna put the TV on, right? And I know a lot of you, I don't watch TV anymore. Yeah, but you got a cell phone. Come on, man. Get past that crowd. I know you feel better about yourself because you don't watch TV anymore. Great. I haven't had a TV in forever, but I have a cell phone, so it's the same thing. That makes you feel great. That's totally cool. Anyway, we're being really fun here today, but when you grab the remote control and you start pressing the buttons, you say, oh my God, look at all this catalog of videos and look at all these. That's the so below. The screen that you're looking at is at your command. You get to choose whatever it is that you want to watch. But listen, when you turn on something, if you start to pay attention, you're going to start to see clues. And the clues will clearly tell you were supposed to watch that. You were supposed to experience that. Well, anyway, whatever runs this reality, it's got one of these things right here. And whatever it wants to tune in, let me tune into Logan's show today. That's why you're being watched. There's no hiding your life. That's why, I used to be one of those people who were like, oh my God, I got to get a VPN, and I could give a shit less about who's watching whatever. I ain't got nothing to hide. You go ahead, watch whatever the hell you want to watch. Don't care, baby. Don't care. I'm an outlaw. I'm about as raw and visceral as you'll get. Anyway, so let's talk tarot, folks. We're going to be very raw, visceral. We're going to be very outspoken. Some of you may not like some of the comments that I say. Well, hey, that's just the way the bread breaks, baby. Okay. So if you have a glass of wine, join me. And I know this is a Let's Talk Tarot. I have a few things that I want to get out there. I just felt like I wanted to tell all of you some of these ideas. I have all these ideas, and I'm like, okay. So the first thing is I have this idea that, and I'm not somebody who takes cannabis. I don't really do cannabis anymore, but I'm thinking about doing a live when I'm stoned. I've never done one before. I haven't smoked. I can't even remember the last time I smoked, but I'm thinking about doing one. And if I do, I'm going to freaking market it that way. I'm going to present it that way. And I will suggest maybe you show up stoned as well so we can all kind of have fun together, right? I'm thinking about doing this anyway. And then the other thing I wanted to share with you, I thought, I like smells. I'm a big, I can't, nasty smells, they bug me, but I like good smells. I'm a huge fan of cologne and perfume. Huge fan. Huge fan. Don't care if it's chemicals. I don't care, man. Gotta die somehow. I want what I want, right? Anyway, so I just thought, we're moving into these applications for the phone, and we're moving in, the whole dating thing, right? And I'm not even doing any of that, but you have all these dating, and I think the next step is you have a dating app and you can literally say, well, what do you smell like? And maybe something will spit out of the phone, and it will spit out of the phone whatever it is you smell like. So I had this idea of what do you smell like? What is your signature cologne? What is your it tells a lot about a person, what your music is, what you watch. And so I wanted to share with all of you, just, so you kind of get, so I get a lot of people asking me what do you do this? Logan, what do you like here? Yada, yada, yada. So I just wanted to put this out there. I don't know why, but this is, if you want to know what I like, This is one of the colognes that I love. I don't know if you can even see it. It's called Altir Cologne. It's a niche fragrance. This is about, now it's probably $180. It's expensive. So, but it's called Clementine, California. And I feel like we're moving towards that in this reality. We're going to be like, you know, you'll have the dating is, listen, dating is going towards what's your astrological sign, what's your tarot cards, what's your numerology, what's your human design, what's your personality type, what signature scent do you wear, you know, what do you look like without any, when you're not done up? That's going to be, I think, another big one. You know, let me see what you look like when you're done. Like, go on a date and don't get done up. That would be I don't think that'll ever happen, because I think people are too afraid to do that. But anyway, I don't know. I just feel like sharing that with all of you since I have the chance to do that. So there's that. I know I had nothing to do with tarot, but I'm a little bit hot in here. Beautiful day here in Mexico, wherever you're at. It was probably 80 something. Just, that's why I love it here, man. Amazing weather. Amazing, amazing weather. All right. Pam said, all right, so we got Pamela, the moderator. Pam, I don't know how you do it. She's everywhere. She's all over the place. She says, I always show up stoned. That's funny. I don't even remember the last time I was under the influence. That's how long it's been. There's so many other things that I don't remember the last time I did. It's been so long. So yeah, but for me, if I do this whole let's talk getting stoned, it will be one hit. I mean, I can't. I'd be obliterated. I just can't. I like to be in control. So. Yeah, so the dating apps, I've already, like, there are already people doing them. These apps that will include the mystical arts, they've already been, for years they've been working on them. They're going to be released soon. There are several people, I already know people have approached me to support their product. So, you know, I mean, they're already coming out. It's inevitable. But I mean, the course I have coming out, that was the whole base fundamental of it was knowing who you are, why you're here, and then if you're gonna date somebody, what goes into that? It's like a lot. So you better know, because you can't. Sometimes they'll hide the trauma, they'll hide the private skeletons in the closet, but they can't hide the raw organic code. Like, you can see it. So, like, that's the next thing on the world stage, is you're going to be able to see people's code through. And that's what my course is. The life coding is where, when you start to decode yourself through the tarot and the cards of illumination and all that kind of stuff, these cards, you're going to be able to see what makes you tick and then what makes them tick. You know, because you can match up with anybody, any astral. This whole nonsense of like, oh well, if you're an Aquarius, you're best matched up with Gemini or Libra, or if you're a Capricorn, you're best. That's all bullshit. That's all. I don't buy into that. You can match up with any sign you want. It's just what your specific astrological map calls for, what you're best suited for. And then the big caveat here is, will your partner let you live the life you want to live? That's the big caveat. Because if you find somebody and they're like codependent, or they have a lot of trauma where they don't want to be left alone or something like that, man, they're not going to leave you alone. You're not going to be able to maybe be yourself. So there is that thing as well. All right. We are Jumpers Jump Plus says boring. I'm out. Okay, see you later. See ya, complainer. We don't do complaining in here. Oh man, see you later. All these complainers in life, man. Well, what we wouldn't have without them, though, man. This world that goes around and around, what we would not have with the complainers, without the complainers. Got to have the complainers, for sure. Okay. I don't have a release date on the course yet, and I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to do it. That's the biggest thing. How to release it. What am I going to do? All right, be nice, everybody. Peanut Butter Jesus says, how to maximize the Seven of Pentacles energy. Well, the Seven of Pentacles energy is card number. So listen, I want to just let all of you know. Let's just use the bottom card here. This just so you know on tarot, okay? This is how I read them anyway. There are 77/78 cards in the tarot. And maybe that's new for you. Like, how's that possible? Well, because there's a card called the Fool. And the Fool has a big fat 0 on it. It doesn't have a 1 on it. It has a 0 on it. So to say that's the first card is kind of going against the 0 that's on the card. So because the Fool is card 0 and the Magician is card 1, this is the true 1 card right here. We then would go all the way to the King of Pentacles and we'd have 77 cards. But because one of the popular spreads in the tarot is when you include the Fool in the hidden position of card number 22, you'd then have 78 cards, 77/78. So 77, you go to alchemy, it's tied to the iridium, the iris of the eye, and 78 is going to be tied to platinum, which means a little silver, right? And then you get a little bit of a bridge there. But the Seven of Pentacles, that card is card number 70/71. The 70 is the 7th pentagonal number. And when you look at we pulled this actually for the What's Your Question just 2 days ago on Friday, right? The 7 of Pentacles. Okay, we pulled this one. This card right here, if you look at it, I just remember you're being used. That my foundation is you're being used. So just have fun with this, okay? The voice in your head's using you. You can call it God, supernatural, whatever, okay? So imagine it's using you. You become God. And this is you, and you're sweeping up. You've swept up all those pentacles, and those pentacles represent all the things that you've manifested at this current time in the present moment. And you're looking down at those pentacles and you're trying to figure out what's going to stay, what's going to go. And it sits at the crown position. It's card 70 or 71. When you see the number 70, it's tied to the crown. 77, it's the crown. It's at the very top. So it's at the crown position and it's looking down over all 6 other layers below it. And it's figuring out what's going to stay, what's going to go. Now, if you say it's the 71st card, well, then you bring mathematics into it. What's 71? The 20th prime number. 20 is tied to the word duality in numerology. So you're clearly, you're observing your duality. That's what you're doing. And we got this card as a collective card read on Friday. What's Your Question 74? We got this in the 7th position, suggesting that you observe your reality. Forget about my reality. Forget about the freaking mainstream. Forget about them and they. And it's what are you observing in your life? That was the message for Friday. Because it was clear there was some death coming. There was a wiping of the board. There was a clearing of the board. And some of you probably were feeling it more than others. But that's the 7 of Pentacles. And this card right here is the 33rd card in the cards of illumination, the 7 of Diamonds. But you got to look at whenever you get, just want to let you know, all of you ladies and gentlemen, when you're a card reader, as a card reader, when I get the 7 of Pentacles, I'm looking at all 7s because they come as a group, all 4. Fire, air, water, earth, all 4. Pentacles, swords, hearts or cups, and wands. They come as a pair. But of course, then you can seclude them out, and you could say, well, what does the Pentacles mean? Well, this one will typically mean your physicality, what you've manifested in your life, observing, like, you know, and this is a reminder: don't be holding on to shit. Don't be holding on to anything. Listen, man. You know what they have what's called gold, and then fool's gold. You know what the fool's gold is? Materialism. It's your ego. That's why the devil is attached to your ego, your desire. That's why the devil card in the tarot has chains attached to the necks of the male and female, because it represents your attachments. It's that simple. We don't need to overcomplicate it. We don't need to overcomplicate it. The tarot says, if you go and look at the sixth card in the tarot, we have the Lover's card, and there are the two human beings with the Godhead at the top. 6 is the first perfect number of mathematics. 6 is the element carbon in the periodic table, which is the 666 element. It's the beast. What is the beast? It's the number of a man or a woman. That's you. That's me. That's why you got to be the best little devil you can be down here. Got to have fun with this. And then the hierarchy of that, when you get time involved, you now have the devil. Now the devil's involved. See the people there? It's the same thing on those cards. Same people, just a different format. So the devil card represents attachments. There's no attachments here because you just came out as a spring chicken. You were just born. There should have been babies here. If I were to create this tarot card, they would have been 2 babies there. That's the card I probably have to have a card drawn up. It would be 2 babies because the word baby equals 6 in numerology, and this is the 6th card in the tarot. When you come out into this world, you're going to get programmed by whatever the environment is that you got as a screenplay. Some of you got some pretty hard screenplays, and you instantly and automatically are under the guise of the devil, and the devil is attachments. That's all it is. That's the simplicity of tarot and this reality. Your attachments are tied to your desires, and that's what keeps this game going, because if you didn't have any desires, you just melt in a bucket. Every day you're thinking about what you want to do. You get bored. You want to do this. Oh, I want to trade my car, and I want to move house. I want to move. I want to do this. I want to go buy a new pair of jeans. That's all devil shit, folks. That's all this. That's all attachment. It's so simple. And there's nothing wrong with living through this card, desire, because all of you have it. The next time you are out in public and you're running around and you're a little horn dog, you're thinking sex. You're looking at the opposite sex. You're like, oh, I'd love to get in the sack with that person. What do you think you're doing? You're doing the devil. Little kids, little 4 or 5-year-olds, they're probably not thinking that, because they're not programmed enough through this reality to think those ways. And that's why these 2 cards have the same people on it. It's really simple. And this, by the way, this is the card of Taurus. This is, in my view, this is not a Capricorn card. I know a lot of people would say it's Capricorn, but this is the card of Taurus. Taurus is the bull. The bull has 2 horns. There's 2 horns on that beast. And Taurus is ruled by Venus, and Venus represents love, and that's the trap. The trap of this reality is love. Oh, I need a new car because I love feeling good about the car. Oh, I got to go fall in love. That's Venus. That's the trap. And I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying that it's just the way it is. Remember, I'm a neutral person. I'm not trying to just add these silly adjectives to these subjects that we place upon ourselves. It's just life happening. Okay? So those are the variations between these 2 cards right here. Same exact energy, just it's time. The 6th card and the 15th card, it's like you have to move through time. What does time do to us? Time ends up making us want to desire more and more. Some of you don't have that anymore. Like, you've released some of your desires, et cetera, but that's what time does. Time, and when you start to look at time through numerology is the number 14. And the number 4, so let's go in between the Lover's card, 6, which is the beast, because you are the beast. Let's not like twist it around and try to except for you, I know. You're the one that's sitting back there, I'm not the beast. Yeah, except for you. I know everybody else is, but not you. Because you're special. You're the chosen one. So in between the 6 and the 15 is the Temperance card, right? I mean, a lot of other cards too, but this card right here sits in between the 6 and the 14. And this Temperance card is the card of balance. So the Temperance has the 2 chalices there because it's reminding you that that's the yin yang. And you can see in the very dead center of that card is neutrality. That's what this card means. Putting the foot in the water to feel what it feels like to be a human being. And the 2 chalices represent duality. That's what the 14 means. The word time equals 14. The word God equals 14. The word Satan equals 14. The word sun equals 14. In numerology, which is going to lead to the number 5, which is going to lead to your ego, your identification. In the tarot, you have the Hierophant, right? So we go from the 14 and then we go to the 5. We minimize it down, and we know the 5 is the Hierophant. I'm sorry it takes a little bit for me to get these cards, but there's over 70 cards in here, and trying to get up there it is. So the 14, the Temperance card, when you reduce it down, okay, when you reduce the Temperance card down, it becomes the Hierophant. So the Hierophant has to be, in order to live a grandiose life, the best possible life you can, balance or homeostasis is what's required. And when you're not, when your body has a disease, it's not balanced. It's not living through that Temperance card to the left. But the Temperance card is going to reduce down to the number 5, and the number 5 is the Hierophant, which is the guru, which is simply means spirit into matter, because the Hierophant, that card right there, sits in the 5th house of Leo, the lion, ruled by the sun. The sun is the spirit that wants to come down here and play out this game called life. 1 Peter 5 verses 8, it says, your adversary walks about like a roaring lion. Hello, what do you think it's talking about? It's the illuminary body. It's the sun, and all the Elohim are the electrons, which are the planetary positions, which you can get into the Gnostic archons and all that kind of stuff. These stories that get bolted on. That's just kind of how I've seen it now. What's up, Rodney? Rodney says tarot is the same thing as Torah. Well, no, because Torah is the 5 books of the Old Testament. And tarot is, yeah, it's attached to it, but it's not anything at all remotely close to the Torah. Although Torah in Chaldean numerology is 19, just like the word devil. So what do you think the devil is? The Torah. And not your Torah, though. The other Torah. That's the one I was talking about, not yours. So, Who's Garth says, I have ADHD and anything dopamine related pulls me in. Well, you know, I got diagnosed with that when I was 10. And then I read 5 books on it. And I realized it's not a disease, it's a gift. And if you're willing to look at that, well, it's a game changer. Just like anything that's happened to you in your past, your trauma, guess what? That was a gift. Your trauma was your gift because it is allowing you to make changes. And all of you have made your changes on your trauma. Some of you haven't reached your full potential for the maximization of the trauma, which has been a gift. Everything in your reality is a gift. You may not attribute your trauma as a gift, but your trauma is promulgated you to move into action or hide away, which is still moving into action. I look at limit. I'm gonna make a lemonade out of this life. I'm into maximizing this life. I'm not into pity-potty victim mentality kind of stuff. I'm into taking the trauma and maximizing my life. And since I'm a human being like all of you, every single one of you have the same abilities as I do. Because we all have hearts, we all have lungs, we all breathe air, we all move around, we have liabilities and disabilities, different, yes. We all have different environments, yes. Anyways. So Divine Hazel says ADHD is a label. Yeah, it can be. It is a label. It's identifying yourself to something on the world stage. Oh, I got that. Yeah, I got that. Okay, it makes you feel better because now you see this reality you is programmed to want to belong to something. You want to. That's why. Can I see your ID, please? Your identification. You want to identify yourself with these silly titles that we give life. It's like if you were just to remove yourself from the mainstream narrative, like a lot of you are bolted on, you love watching the mainstream. You know who you are. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but if you were just for a month, you just detox from the mainstream, your life would change in a big way. Because now it's not sucking and being a vampire. You're actually moving towards nature. I mean, the word vampire is 27, which is tied to the 5 of clubs, which is tied to the word heaven. The word vampire and heaven are 27, which is tied to the thalamus. Happy Hissy Fitz is asking about the Jack of Hearts. All right, so I'll play here. This is a fun card to talk about. The Jack of Hearts, which is the Knight of Cups. Now, I will say the Jack of Hearts. Let me give you the goods on what I know about the Jack of Hearts. Okay? All right, here we go. You ready? The Jack of Hearts belongs to the Jack family. All of these Jacks sit in the house of Aquarius, the 11th house. That's why when you correlate theology to astrotheology, to astroalchemy, Jesus came into the age of Pisces. Jesus, see the J on there? Jesus is the Jack, the Knight. And Jesus clearly said, my kingdom is no part of this world. He's in the age of Pisces. And then Luke 22 verses 10 clearly is again Jesus speaking, saying, follow me into the house with the man bearing a pitcher of water, Aquarius. Jesus and his kingdom is the Aquarian kingdom. It's Aquarius. Now, interestingly enough, the man that they casted to play the architect in the Matrix, Helmut, whatever, I can't even pronounce his last name. He was born on September 26th. So they casted a guy with the Jack of Hearts card as the architect that created this Matrix. Now, I'm not saying it's true. You got to tinker around and play around with it and think about what you want to think about and all that kind of stuff. But this is the 11th card in the deck, following the cards of illumination. But it also can be the, you can put this into the second position where it's the 24th card in the deck. But all the Jacks represent Jesus. Jesus, Jesus, the J, which is the fish hook, trying to get you hooked. I know, the greatest story ever told. It's kind of bulletproof, right? Well, is it? Anyways, the Jack of Hearts, the architect in the Matrix, converts into the Knight of Cups. And the Knight of Cups is card number 47/48. Scripted reality equals 47. 48 is tied to kingdom of God. In the original Greek, where it came from, the idea in the New Testament, where it says the kingdom of God, that's 48 in Greek numerology. So the kingdom of God, no, I'm sorry, it's 46. What am I thinking? 46. Prometheus, that's what I meant to say. Prometheus, I stand corrected. Kingdom of God is 46. That's the 10 of Cups. Prometheus is 48 in Greek numerology, which is tied to this. And this card right here is all about looking for love. It's essentially, the jacks represent the prince or princesses coming down from the kingdom to come down to play the game, essentially becoming one of you. That's why Jesus says, he references, it's the Father. So it's the Son. You and me are the sons and daughters of whatever created this reality. Essentially, you become this. 48 is about looking for love. Matter of fact, the movie Blue Hawaii with Elvis, he had a song, he says, I can't help but falling in love with you. I showed it in my decode. What Elvis was saying was, I can't help but falling in love with life. Yeah, he was probably talking about a girl. He was marketing sex. He was all about it. That was his job, which is tied to attachment. This whole reality is based on people screwing. That's how you got here. It's tied to this. It's very simple. Prometheus is credited in the Greek mythology of creating man out of clay. Why would that be? Because Prometheus is tied to the dirt. And if you follow Genesis and the book through Judaism, it talks about the Spirit of God breathed into the nostrils of man, but he was made from the dirt of the earth. So it's not just one thing, it's multiple things, which I broke that down in my full Decoded on Patreon. Big shout out to all you Patreon members. But that's the Jack of Hearts. This is a big card. This is a big card. 11 is tied to the element sodium. So now you bring alchemy into this. This is card number 11, the 11th element on the periodic table, sodium. What did Jesus say in the Bible? Ye are salt of the earth. Yeah, when you become this, and now you see that cup right there? You're looking for somebody to fill that cup. I'm lonely. I'm lonely. Come take me away from my loneliness. I'm depressed. Fill my cup, please. However you got to do it. And the majority of the world is in a reactory position. They are just reacting to the programming. They're not behaving and acting from a conscious now moment level. They're reacting to trauma, to trigger points. They're reacting. Re means to do it again. That's why religion, you'll never see me ever in a million years pledge to a religion, because it means to do it again. I don't need that to be a good person. Jewel of Aquarius says, lust is evil, not sex. How about just everything's just neutral? See, so Jewel of Aquarius, you think lust is evil, you have labeled it as such. How about that is your labeling? Have you thought about that maybe? Maybe that's your labeling? We all label things. Okay. All right, what's up, Bobby? Bobby has a question on the Two of Cups. Yeah, let's dive into that one. That's another big card. The Two of Cups. Woo, that one's a big one. All the twos. All the twos. So let me grab the Two of Cups, which is the Two of Hearts, which is big. It's big. So good choice, Bobby. I'll definitely dive into that. That's what I love about these cards, folks. They're not evil, man. These cards are not evil, man. They are completely embedded into this reality, just like anything else. So let's start off with the Ace of Hearts, which is the Ace of Cups. I'm going to start here because this is the origination. We start with the aces. They are the first suit. Ace of Hearts, Ace of Cups, Ace of Diamonds, Ace of Pentacles, whatever. This is the 36th/37th card in the deck. The word eye in the sky equals 37. So what this is saying is that the eye in the sky, the supernatural, whatever's running this reality, it's never ending. It continually drops into that little trophy piece there, the wafer, which indicates everlasting life, which means it never ends. The cuppeth overfloweth. 37. It's 36/37. The word operating as an operating system equals the number 36, and this can be card 36. And after the cup has been filled and it starts to overflow, now you get the Two of Cups to follow it. And now you get what's called partnerships. This is where you're going to get, you see the DNA there wrapped around below that lion? The lion, I would think, represents the sun. But it's the DNA. This is a card that represents contract, because once you incarnate, once you come out from out that cup right there and drop down into the world, you instantly and automatically now have a contract. This is card 37/38. And the binary system, the 0 and the 1, 0 and 1 in numerology equals the number 38. So it's tied to the Two of Cups, which means contracts. Now it gets really interesting from here because, ladies and gentlemen, the research that I'm into right now, currently, and I'm just having fun. So I'm not going to say this is true. So don't get all like, we may just all be living inside of a computer system. Now, this is not anything new, right? This is like, a lot of people are saying that. But this entire reality is and can be a computer system. And it's binary. That's why if you start studying the binary system and you forget about, if you're a decoder and you forget about all the other stuff, you know, the prime, sine and cosine waves, golden ratio, pi, you know, square numbers, square roots. If you get rid of all the math, because ladies, listen, my truth is that this reality is behind the final product. Like what you're looking at right here, my room and all this stuff you're seeing, like, oh, that's the final product. And it's being casted to you through YouTube, which I'm grateful for. So big shout out to YouTube. And whatever phone you're using. So you have YouTube, and then, you know, I have a Samsung phone. What do you have, Apple? So you would be grateful for your Apple phone, because without your Apple phone, you wouldn't be watching this broadcast right now. Or maybe you're on a laptop, maybe you're on a Mac, or maybe you're on a Sony MacBook. I don't know. But you should be grateful for that. But anyway, that's the final product. Behind the final product is code. That's why all these cards have numbers on them. Because the numbers and symbols and letters are the code that writes the final product. But people don't pay attention to the code that writes the final product. They're just interested in the final product. Because we're so programmed and used to that. But when you take a step back and you start looking at the code that writes it, you're going to start to see a whole different world open up. And even with this Two of Cups, right on that card, is, this one doesn't have it, but the normal tarot card has the Roman numerals, which is the prison bar, which is Gemini. Because anytime you see the number 2 in Roman numerals, that's the sign of Gemini. Now, I know Gemini is the third sign. These numbers encroach, they move, they play. But the number 2, this is a card that's tied to Gemini, even though it's the number 2 and it's going to sit in the sign of Taurus. They all pass the baton off. And folks, you and I, we all may be living inside of a computer system. The movie Tron in 1982, and then they redid it in 2015 or 12 or something, Tron Legacy, that's what they were saying. Now, are they wrong? Whoever created it, you go and research, start to decode the writers of Tron. who wrote the screenplays. Their ideas came from their head, just like you have your ideas. That's where all your ideas come from. Are they wrong? Is it fiction or nonfiction? Well, a lot of this information that's coming out in my research shows that we live inside of a computer system. That's why in Tron, it was Kevin Flynn he created the game and he went down inside of it and he got stuck there in Tron. Are we trapped here? That's the question. Are we trapped? Well, this is contracts. So in Tron Legacy, I thought, which was a huge truth bomb movie, Jeff Bridges said, the way to win the game is not to play. Because his son wanted to bring him to the center of town. He wanted to go up in the portal. He's like, no, we're on the outskirts. I'm not going over there. I'm not going to play. That's the trap, man. And I think that has a lot of merit to it. And I'm here to tell you, you may not agree because you're in love and you're making love, and love's the trap, folks. It's a trap. I'm not saying don't get into your relationships, and I'm definitely not saying you're wrong for getting into a relationship. I'm definitely not going to say you're wrong for falling in love, but I'm telling you it's the trap. The word trap equals 15. The word trap in numerology equals 15. There you go. So I've talked about this so much about with sex. I decoded it. The majority of you that have kids, I go all the way back when you first had sex with your partner, to say it was love, it was lust. Because what does lust mean? Desire. We just put this fancy word called lust, and then it's one of the 7 deadly sins, and it's desire. You can lust after a human being. You can lust after a cologne or a perfume. You can lust after having a glass of wine, a glass of whiskey. It just means desire. That's it. And desire is the devil. And it's inevitable. Unless you just want to melt away in a bucket. Yeah, welcome to the machine. I decoded that with Pink Floyd. The word machine equals 24, just like the word Jesus. So again, I'll go back to the Jack of Hearts. The word machine, now it gets into a different one. Let me get it. The word machine in numerology equals 24, and this is the 24th card. It's a jack, but the jacks are all together. They can separate fire, air, water, earth, but they're all 4. They're all work together harmoniously like all 12 zodiac signs. So these 2 jacks work harmoniously together. And this one is the machine. The machine, and you know what it's tied to? The moon. The moon, because the Jack of Clubs ends up converting to, and the connecting point to, the Knight of Wands. And the Knight of Wands is card 33/34. And then you got to take these, you should be taking these layers of decoding the tarot and moving them to the periodic table. And what's the 34th element on the periodic table? Selenium, which is the Greek word for Selene and the moon. So is the machine the moon, and is the moon Jesus? Because then you have Christoph in the Truman Show, Christ on the moon. So is there any connection there? I know the most listen, folks, I'm going to be the outlaw here, man. I'm taking it. I'm all in with this. I'm not your guy who's going to chase the most popular story in the world. I'm looking at the most popular story in the world as the fraud story. I know that it ruffles feathers. It pisses people off. I get people that, I have unsubscribers. That's totally cool. But you know why? Because you can't accept my truth. I'm not forcing this upon anybody, but I'm simply saying is that if you take religion and the religion clearly says that the road that's paved into destruction is the biggest one. The majority are finding the road that's paved into destruction, using that story now, right? Okay, so taking that story and moving it into religion, what's the most popular and biggest story on the world stage? Jesus Christ. And it would be a bulletproof story, right? It would be an ironclad story. You would never, oh my God, you would be like, oh my, I would never go against that. No way, no way, no way, because you've been programmed with fear not to go against it. That's what you've been doing. If you're somebody who follows that kind of stuff. So again, I want to make it very perfectly clear. I'm not saying that it's wrong, but I'm saying that there's a chance that it is the biggest fraud ever. And what would that mean? Let's remove the word fraud. It's a recycling energy. Welcome to the machine. What is the biggest thing on the world stage that would get the most energy? The Jesus story. That's like one of the biggest energies out there. The greatest story ever told, Jesus, and it's tied to the machine. Welcome to the machine. See, this game needs players. This reality, this reality needs players. Okay? That's what it needs. It needs people in order to incarnate into. And my truth is that this reality is ruled by something that's not human. And so if you're not human and you look like you're looking down at this reality and you're like, oh my God, that game of life looks, I want to go down and I want to be a star in the movie. Some of you aspire to be a star. You want to be an actor or actress. You move to Hollywood to get on the silver screen so you can be somebody in the movies and be somebody that's prolific in the movies. So you get all this attention. What if whatever is running this reality is non-human and it wants to come down here and live out this reality, and the only way it can do it is by having a new body get pumped into this reality. Every time someone incarnates, a spirit gets to come down and play this reality and experience the reality. So the game needs players. In numerology equals the number 72, and this is the 72nd card in the deck, the Eight of Pentacles. This right here, ladies and gentlemen, is tied to Mary Magdalene. That's what it's tied to. Why is it tied to Mary Magdalene? Because Mary Magdalene represents the Taurus field. The Taurus field is the Virgin. It's the infinity symbol. It spits out things. And this is the game needs players. This card, the Seven of Pentacles, the Eight of Diamonds, this is when somebody comes out, when you come out into this world, you may go to college, you may get a degree, you may go to school for a business, you may whatever, and now you're hard at work. 72. And the number 72 is tied straight up to the archons. So, if you're somebody who follows theology and you don't consider the archons, man, are you boxing yourself in? My answer is 1000% you are. You're just like, no, that can't be part of it. No, because you are too afraid to look at something else. That's why for me, it's about nihilism. What is nihilism? Just eliminating the whole damn thing. I don't want to be part of any of it. Nothing. Because anything in this reality, anything under this self-contained system is part of this reality, including all the religions. How can it be any other way? How can you justify, the Bible, for example, or the Upanishads or the Quran or anything like that? These are all built inside this construct. So if you're going to be somebody who says, well, this is Satan's world, well, guess what? Satan owns all the freaking religions. How are you going to justify it any other way? You're going to tell me it's different? Oh, no, but not mine. If Satan is the ruler of this world, then everything created in this world is Satan's world. If you want to throw that out there, but people don't use critical thinking. They don't use critical thinking. They just move and dance around to make it, oh, this is this and that. No. If you think Satan's ruling this world, then Satan owns all the religions because they are part of this world. There's no getting around that, by the way, folks. There's no like dancing around that thinking, oh, well, no, it's Jesus and it's Mohammed or it's this. No, folks, anything in this reality is part of this reality. And it can't be any other way. It's the same exact thing, ladies and gentlemen, with everything that's happened in the past, which it's just fascinating because we all know that some things that have happened in the past never happened. So then what do we do with that? That's why it's all important of focusing on the now moment, right now, the present moment, which is the gift of life. Not yesterday, not 5 years ago, not 2,000 years ago, not 5,000 years ago. That's history, which can be manipulated. You can't manipulate the now moment because the now moment is always happening. You can attach on manipulation to it tomorrow, but right now everything's happening in the now moment. Somebody mentioned hell. I want to talk about that. So it's interesting in numerology, the word hell equals 16, just like the word serious. Are you serious? Yeah, I'm serious. Serious being the number 16, which is tied to the Tower card. This is card number 16 in the major arcana. And it's interesting because if you've ever seen that show Alice in Borderland, I haven't watched the full show, but if you could just go watch the trailer, Alice in Borderland, they hold up a card, which I've highlighted, and they say, this is the Game Master. That's what they say. This is the Game Master card. This is what's ruling the game. Now, I'm not saying it's true, right? You got to use your own logic and discernment right there. This is the Game Master card. And this is card 16, which is tied to the Tower card in the major arcana, which is tied to Sirius. And then if you correlate it into the tarot, it's the Three of Wands. The Game Master card in Alice in Borderland, what they're saying is the Three of Wands, the Three of Clubs. The Game Master. And what's so fascinating is Thomas John Ellis, who they casted to play Lucifer for the show on Netflix, he was born on November 17th. This is his birth card. And this tarot card right here is where you're launching long-term play. You're down here in this reality, and now you're playing out the game. Now you're in hell because you're in it. You got to make heaven out of it. Right? You got to make heaven out of it. So Rodney says, who determined what the numbers mean? Well, you got to study the numbers, Rodney. And then you got to do your own kind of logic and discernment. You got to study the numbers and what they mean, and they're, connect the biology of the body, the golden ratio, prime numbers. You got to study all the numbers and start to take a look. A lot of these numbers you have to study. If you're not going to study them, it's really hard. And then you're going to get a base foundation, and then you start to connect the dots. Myself, I'm somebody who synchronizes stuff. That's why the 15th card in the tarot, to me, is tied to the house of Taurus, because you go around the zodiac wheel and you got to go in the middle. That's the 13th. That's the illuminary body, which represents the Christ. And then 14 pops back out into Aries. And then 15 ends up moving into Taurus. So that's kind of how I see it there. But you gotta study numerology. And then you have to come up with, not everybody agrees upon everything, but you have to come up with your own determination on what you think the numbers mean. So it will come down to an opinion. It really will come down to an opinion. Yeah, Road Doggy, let's talk about that. You want to talk about the Five of Cups, Five of Diamonds. So this is another interesting energy. There it is, Five of Diamonds. So what's interesting about this this card here, the Five of Diamonds, this is card number 31 in the deck. Now it's going to be all the fives. This card right here through Astro Alchemy is going to sit in the house of Leo. Irregardless of if you have a Five of Diamonds, you may like Jerry Cantrell, the guitarist for Alice in Chains, who wrote the song Man in a Box, March 18th. So it doesn't, I don't know, I never looked at his astrological chart. I actually probably should do that. But the Five of Diamonds is card number 31, but it will be attached to all the fives. All the fives, when you add them up, equals the number 98, which is tied to the five senses, which is tied to Sirius. Okay? It's like a lot of these things I'm throwing out there, you'd be like, well, how do you come up with that? It's like, I'd have to show you. And for time's sake, I can't show you everything. So I'm not expecting you to agree or believe everything I say. Please don't do that. I would all encourage all of you to use logic and discernment and go do the research yourself. But the Five of Diamonds is tied to, see the X right on there? Why do you think you have 5 fingers and 5 toes and 5 senses? Why is the pentagram so big? The Pentagon in Washington, D.C. Why is it in the shape of a 5-pointed star? Why is the pentagram or the Pentagon on a soccer ball the most popular sport in the world? It's paired with the hexagon, 5 and 6. And why is 56 tied to the words lights, camera, action, which is the movie playing out through this reality? It's because it's all connected. It's all the code that's written behind the scenes that we call this the Five of Diamonds. But behind the Five of Diamonds, you can measure this card, the size of it. You can put it on a scale and measure its weight. It's all based on numbers. Okay? But this is card number 31. And this converts to card number 68/69, which is the Five of Pentacles. This card right here clearly has a very definitive line embedded into it. What you're seeing here are 2 people. They're out in the cold. One of them has crutches. The other lady, she's in really shitty clothes. And the contrast is that behind them is a church. And this is tied to the game of life. One of them. And inside that church is your Savior, your salvation. Come into the church, come out from the cold. That's what this card means. And it's card number 68/69. And 68 and 69 are massive in this reality because 68 is tied to Isaiah 45 verses 7, where the God's saying, I make peace and create evil. Do you see peace and evil there? Yeah, the church represents peace and evil represents these people outside in the cold on crutches and torn clothes. This is the yin yang card. That's the Five of Diamonds, which this right here is even was tied to the Georgia Guidestones because this is what they looked like from above. This is what the Georgia Guidestones looked from above. The pillars, it was in this shape right here. And 5 is the only number that looks like the letter S, which is the 19th letter in the alphabet, which is tied to the word sun or soul, which is why the 5th house of astrology is ruled by the sun, spirit into matter. So So that's the 5 of diamonds. And the 5 of diamonds, any of you that are fives, if you're a 5 of diamonds, 5 of spades, 5 of clubs, 5 of hearts, if you're somebody who has a 5 for a birthday, if you're somebody who has a life path that's a 5, you people are the busiest people there are. This is a busy energy. This energy is the busybodies because it represents 5 fingers, 5 toes, 5 senses. It represents variety. It represents change. It represents wanting to go on adventures and travel and try out new things and say, oh, I'll go try that. That's what the 5 means. If you study numerology, 5 means the adventurer. The one that will go on the risks. It will take risks. It will go and it likes a lot of movement and change and variety. That's the 5. 5 birthday, the 5 of diamonds, 5 of clubs. It represents variety and change. That's what these numbers mean from the study of that. So Rodney asked, who determined what the tarot cards mean? Well, you got to study the symbols inside of them, Rodney. They're all going to come down to interpretations to it. And you synchronize the numbers into mathematics and prime and cosine and the code that's written, you start to see the patterns emerge. It's so complicated. It's really challenging to tell you. It's not just who wrote the interpretations of the cards. Yeah, there's a book on the interpretations. There's a lot of books on the interpretations of the cards. Absolutely. But it's then you have to go into numerology and you have to study numerology. And then you bring theology into it. Why is the last day of creation day number 6? Because it's tied to the 3rd eye right here. The 6th chakra is right here. Are we just in the mind of the cosmos? 6 is the number of man because it's carbon. Now you get into alchemy. So we have the 3rd eye chakra and the petals on there. Go into the history of the Vedas and the chakras in Hinduism. You're going to get the number here. And then you coincide that with the days of creation in Judeo-Christianity. Then you coincide that into mathematics. 6 is the first perfect number. So now you know 6 is the first perfect number in mathematics. That's why the 6th card in the tarot is the Lover's card right here. Because it represents the legacy, the masterpiece of God. That's how you're able to take numerology and attach labels and interpretations to these things. That's how I do it anyway. Multiple ones. You can't just you can read a book and say, oh yeah, it means this. I see a lot of that. But I'm not that guy. I'm a guy who I want to, as many things as I can attach to get definitions, that's what I'm going to look at. The code behind the final product is what I'm after, not the final product. Final product can be interpreted a million different ways through Sunday. No pun intended, today being Sunday. So I hope that answered your question, Rodney, and so nobody really knows. No, I know. I don't believe, I know. So I don't agree. I know. I know what this stuff means. I don't need anybody's permission for that. I know, because I've studied it and I know. That's being confident in studying the material. If you're somebody, like, if I were to study, I don't know trigonometry and formulas and math, like how to fly a jet, like the jet propulsion. I don't know all those formulas. I am ignorant in those areas, but somebody knows. Somebody knows how to do the mathematical equations for this and for that. I don't. I passed high school with general math and I hated it when I was growing up. Didn't even go into algebra 1 and 2 and calculus. I hated all that stuff. So if you plopped an equation in front of me, I wouldn't probably be able to figure it out. But somebody can. This is no different. These cards and all that, these are all mathematical formulas and equations. If you're willing to study it, you'll know. But if you're just going to say, well, nobody knows, well, then that's your truth. I don't go with that. I know what this stuff, I know the machinations of how this reality works. That's me saying and standing in my confidence and knowing the truth of the matter. Now I get persecuted for that. Oh, who does Logan think he is? These are my truths. You don't have to agree with them. But don't tell me trigonometry doesn't work. Don't tell me you can't launch a rocket if you don't know the formulas. That's absurd to say that. No one really knows. No, you don't know because you haven't studied it. So unless you're willing to study it and you want to stick with it, nobody really knows, well, that's totally fine. But I know. Jewel of Aquarius says, what's the thing about going back 2 months? That's a good question. Okay, so there is the Gregorian calendar. There is the Gregorian calendar, which promulgated from the church and was promulgated from the Julian calendar. Now I'm just regurgitating what I've read. History says that the Julian calendar came before the Gregorian calendar. Now, I wasn't there, so I want to make it very clear that I'm regurgitating this information. I don't know because I wasn't there when Julius Caesar came out with the Julian calendar. That's what the history says. And the Gregorian calendar, when it was created supposedly in the mid-1500s, they kept up with the Julian calendar. And what happened during the Julian calendar was that they took the month of January and February and they moved it to the first and second month. They made January and February month number 1 and month number 2, and they moved March to month number 3. That's what they did. Now, if you look at March is, in astrology, it's the month of springtime in the Tropic of Cancer. It's going to be the fall in the Tropic of Capricorn. There's always going to be a yin-yang push-pull. But if you look at the month of March or the month of September, the fall and the equinoxes, the spring and fall equinoxes, the sun is directly overhead the equator. Meaning that when it does its sign winding action like this every day, as it goes up and down, like a pendulum, because that's what the sun is, it's the great pendulum. During the spring and fall equinoxes, when the sun is directly overhead the equator, it gives its light 50% to one side and 50% to the other. They're evenly spaced days and nights. So these are important markers in this reality. But during the Julian calendar, and what happened back then is they pushed January and February in front of March. So if you're somebody like myself who, I discovered this through the voice in my head, was like, well, wait a minute. What happens when you go and do, if you're a fan of numerology in your life path, the life path of the numerology is when you take your total birthday. Let me just show all of you. Let me just get my cursor out and show you, because it's much easier. Okay. So if you take a birthday, let's just take, I don't know, March 18th, 1972. Okay? Randomly, March 18th, 1972. In numerology, the life path, which is, how do you get the life path? It's adding up all the digits, breaking them all down to a single digit. Now, you can also break 19 and 72 apart. And what you do is you come up and you make it full. So now you get 112. So you can do it this way. Not to confuse all of you, but you 3, 18, 19/72, and now you get the 112, right? But for the ease of this example, we're going to keep it like this. So someone who born on the March 18th, 1972, they're going to have a life path of a 31/4, because 3 + 1 is 4. You're going to reduce all the way down. So essentially, you're going to be a life path 4, which is, if you start to, as many readings as I've done, when I do these and you start to throw at people these life paths, they're like, oh my God, and it makes sense. And then like, yeah, that's totally me. So this is why when you study the numbers and you know the numbers rather than believe them, it's a much different scenario. But this is your Gregorian life path. But since March would become the first month, if you remove the Julian and Gregorian calendar method, March would become the first month. And now it changes your life path from a 4 to a 2, because 2 plus 9 is 11, 1 plus 1 is 2. So when I do readings for people now, and I've been doing this for a few months, I show both life paths. I show both of them. So I like to look at Felicia Bender. So I just go life path 2. And Felicia's been doing it a long time. I just like her layout. But you can come down here and you can pick whatever one you want, right? So this March 18th would become the 29, or it will become through Gregorian the 4. So you would read from both. You'd read the 2, right? And you would read all this passage and you would decide upon what's true and what's not true for you. And then you'd go to the 4. And I will bet you are a blend of both. And the course I have coming out is going to show you how to narrow it down where everything's going to be true for you, where there's no like, oh, that's not true for me. No, it's everything will be true for you. But that's how you do the life paths. And the life path will decide upon, like I present the life path as just the spirit inside of you. The adversary of your life path is going to be your ego, which is a little devil, which is going to be your name numerology. That's how you separate the two. That's kind of how I look at it. Egyptian deity says, all man-made, we don't have a clue, date, month, and time. Well, Egyptian deity, my truth is mankind's being used. So man made it, yes, but through the mind of man, it was created. And the mind of man or woman is manipulated by whatever's running this reality. So that's why when you start to look at Gregorian, Julian, Coptic, solar lunar calendars, you start to do the numerology and the tarot, and you start to look at these dates, all of it has merit. There isn't anything that's not manipulated. All of it has merit. That's why when people say, well, the Gregorian calendar is this and that, yep, you use it every day. You were born into it. How can it be wrong? When each day you wake up and say, what day is it today? Today's February 25th. That's Gregorian calendar. Are you going to tell me that today's manipulated? No. Yeah, so Rodney says the mind of man created the numerology charts. No, the mind of whatever runs this reality created. Everything that we're doing in this reality, this is what the research from my discoveries. Now, again, you have to use logic and discernment. I'm not telling you that it's going to be true for you. Your truth, everybody here, your truth is the only truth that matters. That's why you're not going to see me. I will not be out there defending. I will not be attacking anybody. Don't care about anybody else's research. You go do you. You're doing your job. I don't need to try to put anybody down. I don't need to go out there and scream and yell, rant and rave and tell people they're doing things wrong or they're deceiving people. No, they're influencing people. They may be influencing them in a way you don't like, but they're influencing. Everybody's marketing and influencing. But it's when somebody starts to put people down and starts to say they're wrong and all that stuff, they don't know how this reality works when they start to do that. That's my truth now, right? Because it's always going to come down to the foundation of my truth. When you know, you don't have to defend. When you start to slam and point fingers and say they're wrong, to me, you don't know how this reality works. That's my truth. The only truth that matters is your truth. And I'm talking to every single one of you here. You know what that does? It alleviates any burdens. Like, I don't have it all figured out. I can tell you all right now, as transparent, authentic as I can tell you, I do not have it all figured out. But I stand in my truth, just like you do. Once you say, you go do you and I'm going to do me, it alleviates all the division. But you know what causes division? When somebody says, well, you know what? I don't like the way you do that. Well, you're wrong for doing that. Division, sacrificing love. That's not how I roll. If you want to make this world a utopia, you can't be telling people they're wrong. That's how I roll. That's my truth. I'm not here to play the game like that. Like, I'm all about, like, if you want to win, don't play. That's where I'm at. If you want to be somebody who's out there hammering people, you're heavily in the trenches playing the game. That's not me. I'm not that guy. I'm here to show you how it works. I'm not going to tell you how to play it. So, I mean, my mind's being used. My life's being used. I've shown this over and over and over and over and over again. I've told it. I've been very transparent, very open. And I believe everybody's like that. You don't want to agree with that? That's totally cool. I'm not here to force this upon anybody. I'm just a tour guide, man. As they say, no pun intended, don't shoot the messenger, you know? I'm not somebody, I'm not a fan of sacrificing love to try to be right, to like, oh, gotta be my way. And I used to be that dude. And I struggle with it. My ego's, doesn't want to die. So I struggle with it. And I feel like the way to have a DNA activation upgrade, to upgrade out of this reality, is you got to realize that, if you want to play the game, you want to jump in the trenches, then by all means, go ahead and go do that. I don't have to live through that code. I'm the guy I'm not on the court anymore, man. I'm just watching the game from the stands. So, Jordan said it best, love is allowing. So if I'm looking at anybody, any influencer out there, and they're not love is allowing, I'm not a fan of that. Just, if you go on the offense, don't try to go on the or put people down or go on the defense. I'm not for that kind of stuff. That's just not my energy. But I'm not saying somebody doing that is wrong. They're doing their job. You think Ted Bundy? I've talked about so much. I don't want to get off topic. I've showed so many astrological charts. I just showed it on Friday about Trump, showing these people don't have choices in their reality. They're doing what they want to do. They're heavily involved in the game. They're heavily on the floor playing the game. That's what their job is. So they're not wrong for doing it, but that's not my style. I'm the guy. I'm on the outside now, looking in. I'm not playing like that. Love is allowing. That's unconditional love. When you start hammering people, that's not unconditional love anymore. You've now usurped that. That can't be unconditional love. That's right, Christine. Christine from the great state of Washington says it best. You do you, and I'll do me. Exactly. That's how you create a utopia. I know it would create some chaos, but folks, chaos and order are completely not everybody incarnates to create order in this reality. That's why, even in theology, I've taught this. Go watch my Second Coming of Christ. I tied it right to Santos. I don't agree with Santos's behavior and the stuff he's putting out there, some of the stuff he puts out there, but I love him like a brother because I focus on the good in him, and I love his older material. Not a big fan of his newer stuff, but that's just, but Jesus in the Bible clearly said, I'm not coming with peace, I'm coming with a sword. I'm coming with my words. What do you think death is fun? You think it's like the pale horse is going to come in and it's going to it's okay. It's okay. No, it's coming in with the Grim Reaper, man. I don't want to be a part of that. All right. Michael's asking about the Eight of Clubs. Let's get back on track. Thanks, everybody, for sticking in there with me on this stuff here. Let's jump into and talk about, this is a very big card as well. Some good ones tonight, ladies and gentlemen, or today, wherever you're at in the world. The Eight of Cups. The Eight of Wands. God, you think I'd be able to find it? It's so easy to see this card. There it is. So the Eight of Wands, the Eight of Clubs. We're talking tarot, so we're going to do the Eight of Wands. This is card number 29/30. The word demiurge equals 30. The Eight of Wands is tied to the Eight of Clubs. Now, the Eight of Clubs is one of the three in the card system. The Eight of Clubs is one of the three fixed cards. All right? Where the hell is it? The Eight of Clubs. I didn't even think I'd be able to find it. Eight of Spades. The Eight of Clubs is one of the three fixed cards along with the Jack of Hearts and the King of Spades. There it is. So this is part of the 8 family, right? This is part of the family of 8. If you're an 8, I'm an 8 of Spades. If you're an 8, you're part of the 8 family. The 8 represents the Taurus field. It represents the Mary Magdalene energy, the Virgin giving to the world. Because 8 is the infinity symbol, and the infinity symbol is what you're stuck in, is what we're stuck in, the sine and cosine wave. The wave. In mathematics, 19 is the 8th prime number. Okay, so you bring mathematics into this and the tarot, and you can start to see the picture, and it becomes glorious. The 19, where the hell's the sun? There it is. So the sun is the 19th tarot card. Now it's interesting because the word battery equals 19. The word master equals 19. And the 19 in mathematics is the 8th prime number, the 8. So all the 8s attach to the sun. Because the 8 represents the infinity symbol. As the light comes down, it represents the wave. Which the sun, as it goes around the earth, however that works, creates a diamond shape. It's the pendulum, and it creates the 8, the analema shape. So the 8 of Clubs becomes the 8 of Wands. And of course, this means fast movement. Now, in the tarot, these are going to be representing air. Fire. Fire. In the tarot, the wands represent fire. That's why you're going to hear a lot of people say, oh, Sagittarius, Leo. No, this card right here sits in the house of Scorpio because it's an 8, and the 8th house of Scorpio is the ruler of this card, which is the entry. Like if you were on my Patreon, I did Astro Tarot, right? Only on Patreon, and I showed the 21 major arcana cards and how they are attached to each zodiac sign. This card right here would sit in the house of Scorpio. And Scorpio is the entrance to enter into this reality. Okay? The 8, the Mary Magdalene energy, the Virgin that delivers. And this is the 30th card in the deck. So essentially the 8 of Clubs is the 8 of Wands. This card is because of the position this is in, it is a card of being somebody who's very psychic. Think about it, this is the house of Scorpio. Scorpios are known to be detectives and private detectives and crime and drama psychic. Because you're inside the infinity symbol from the sun. So this card right here, coincidentally, is tied to the word exorcism. The word exorcism equals, I have a decode coming out on that. Exorcism is tied to the number 30. And that's this card. And there's a lot to that. But the 8 of Clubs is a very psychic card, and it represents spirituality. And this is tied to the mouth of this reality. Like I talked about, I will spit you out of thy mouth, Revelation 3 verses 16 right there. I will spit you out of my mouth right there. To go in, spit you out. And there's a lot more to it than just that. But that's what the 8 of Clubs represents through astrology and the tarot. Any of the 8s sit in the house of Scorpio. If you're an 8, 8 of Clubs, 8 of Hearts, 8 of Spades, 8 of Diamonds, you sit in the house of Scorpio. Dayron Johnson says, please talk about the concept of the male chasing the female. Okay, well, that's very simple. It's going to be, well, look at that, the bottom of the deck, right, as fate would have it. So you were meant to ask me that question. The epitome, the basic fundamentals of how this reality works and what the research is showing now. Now, again, I want you to go do your own research, but the research shows that it is the masculine chasing the feminine. The masculine, the king chasing the queen. The queen in this reality, the queens, by the way, all the queens, when you add them all up, equals 126. 126 is tied to I am, the iodine. The queen is the I. The I. The queen. You women have all the control in this reality. Why do I say that? I can't make a baby. That's the pure sense of control. Males cannot produce offspring. That should tell you who has the power in this reality. Now, I get it. Then you would say, well, you have the whole chicken and the egg kind of thing. Well, you'd have to include the rooster in there. The rooster, the chicken, and the egg. Who came first? The rooster, the chicken, or the egg? Because the chicken is the female, the egg's the offspring. But you can't get the offspring without the rooster. So I know a lot of males may say, well, they need me. Yeah, true. It takes two to tango. But if we really cut it down to the basic fundamentals, the females are the only the mammals that can reproduce. I can't do that. You can't do that as a male. So the queen is where it's at. And the queen needs the male. So the king ends up chasing the female. King and queen in numerology equal 33. That's why you have 33 vertebrae and you'll reach your salvation. When you can merge the two together and you realize when you get up to the thalamus, which is heaven, by the way, your brain is heaven. But the classic representation of how this reality works is the male chasing the female. The king and queen. And it's never ending. That's where you're going to get the fallen angel story. You know, that's why is God always male? The story's always portrayed as male. Why is that? Have you ever thought about that? Why does it have to always be male? But that's the classic example. The kings and queens, the king chases the queen, and they create an offspring, which are the Jacks, which are the Jesuses. And if you're not male, you're going to be Jill. So if you get into nursery rhymes, Jack and Jill went up a hill. This Jack is the prince or princess. So essentially you have all three here, like this. The mother, the father, and the son or the daughter through the cards. Okay? Someone's asking me, what do I think of the number 172? It's tied to the archons. 172 is tied to the archons. I'd have to show you, but again, don't take my word for it. Start doing your own research. If you're not a decoder, man, then you may have to take my word for it. Listen, folks, I'm not here to bedazzle you. Okay? I'm not wearing these shiny things. I'm not trying to bedazzle you. I'm not trying to pull the woolly over your eyes. I'm not trying to screw you over. I'm not trying to get one past you. I'm simply here as a messenger to show you the machinations of how this reality works. I'm as raw and transparent. The world knows my history. There's nobody that has any dirt on me because I've already told it all. I'm not liked by everybody. I'm hated by some people. But the one thing you can be sure of, folks, I'm going to continually pump out what I've been told to do and show you. And again, my position is to be on the stands looking down at the court. I mean, yeah, I play. We all play the game. But my job is to show you how this reality moves around and does all that kind of stuff. And then you got to make a decision on how you want to end up playing it. And it's not going to be the same for everybody. It ain't cookie cutter. Life is not cookie cutter. Rick's asking, why do so many movies have the room 101 in them? 101 is the 26 prime number. So, that'd be a good question. Today's February 25th. 26 card in the deck. 101 is the 26 prime number. This is the 26th card in the deck. Now, in the tarot, it's going to be the King of Wands. I thought I had it. So if you're asking about the 101, it was in the movie The Matrix, right? 101 is the, so you got, again, as a decoder, I go to mathematics. I look and see in mathematics. Is there a clue there? Yes. 101 is the 26 prime number. Bam, there it is. This is card number 35, found off of card number 26. The King of Clubs is the King of Wands. The King of Wands is card 35/36. The King of Wands in the tarot is the suit of fire. Now, what's very interesting is, see, the reason why the tarot, what I believe, the reason why the wands represent fire is because these clubs represent the sun. Why is that? Because if you look at and you start to study, you study COVID. If you study that, which I've already decoded it multiple times, it's tied to the corona, the sun, right? And when you research that topic, you're going to see that the sun, when you observe it through that lens and layer, there's clubs coming off the sun. Which is why when you look at COVID, you're going to see, I'm not saying clubs come off the sun. They're coming off of the organism. When you study COVID, you're going to see that it has clubs coming off of it. Just go type in that word, organism, okay? And under a microscope, you're going to see clubs coming off of it. Which, interestingly enough, this is the card of September 11th, by the way. Okay? So this becomes, which is today's card, becomes the King of Wands. And it becomes fire. So even though, like, what I studied from sacred symbols of the ancients, these actually are, this is the suit of air. And hearts become the sun. Fire. These become air. But they're interchangeable. So the tarot says, no, they're fire. Okay, well, fire and air, I mean, the sun, pretty much the same thing. Again, referencing the sun, the father. Okay? Chasing the mother. Mother is earth. The earth is the black sun. It doesn't give off any of its own light. It needs the sun to grow. Plants need the sun for photosynthesis. It needs light to warm the waters up of the ocean so things don't die in the ocean. It needs the sun for the ecosystem to work. The sun is the father, the earth is the mother. And you get the moon in there as well, which is the bride or of the sun, which kind of triangulates the sun, the light of the sun. Nancy says, women came first. Well, that's the 101. That's the 101. It's the 26 prime number, and then when you look at the when you go to the 44th element, ruthenium, these are all the clues, right? Ruthenium is got the average isotope of 101, and now you get the number 44. And when you go type in the word underworld, you're going to get 44, right? So it's spirit going, what is the underworld? It's earth. That's what it is. And you can go to mathematics. You can go like the string of the golden ratio. You can type in 101 and you can plug it in there and you're going to see digits 458 through 460 or 461. Then you have another clue. You can measure this, but that's for a different story. Right, there's so many clues that I could show you here that's decoding though. I want to keep this tarot. Yes, Jeremiah says the trefoil, exactly. The trefoil, the club. Yes. XLM Stellar 33 in Chaldean. I've been asked to decode XLM, and I've had several people ask me XPR, and like I can't find the information on these coins. Like why I decoded Bitcoin and XRP is because I have origins attached to those coins. Genesis block 0 on January 3rd for Bitcoin, and XRP being formed in June of, was it 2011? Like you can look at the astrological maps. Some of these other coins, I don't have the founding dates. I don't have the origins. I don't have the when they were released. The stable coins, I don't even have the founding members. There may be multiple and you can't find their birthdays. It's really hard to some of these coins. So that's one of the reasons why I haven't decoded some of these ones that people have requested. Yeah, though, and Peanut Butter Jesus says the 101 can be as Boaz and Yachin and the 0 portal in the middle. That's exactly right. That's another way that you can look at it. And any number, just remember that I will just show all this to you. That any number that you get above 52. Right? Because 52 is tied to the words, is tied to the cards, but it's tied to this right here. All right? Now, when I take numerology and I take prison planet and you see 52, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to go to the periodic table with this and I'm going to look at what's the 52nd element on the periodic table. It's tellurium. And oh my God, it's got a planet right on it. Huh. So we have prison planet here in numerology, and it's the 52, and then the 52nd element is tellurium, which means earth. So you think that's an accident? You think this is like trying to fit a square peg in a round hole? No. There are 52 cards in a deck of cards, including the jokers would be 0 and 53. So the 52, anytime you get a number that's above 52, to find out what card it is, you just subtract it. So the 101, you just type it in here, and you can see it's not it's a prime number. It's the 26 prime number, which is tied to prison, right? If you go to prison planet, it's tied to prison and planet. So there's that clue. And then we go to the 26th element. It's called iron. And now you get into Judaism and the Iron Dome. And this is the Yod-Heh-Vah-Heh because 26 is tied to the Yod-Heh-Vah-Heh equals 26, which is why you're going to get these words right here. Adam and Eve are 26. Coincidence? No. That's because that's how it's tied into the source code. That's why this is tied to the number 26. Just like this is. Okay? So any number that you get above 52, you just go to the calculator and you subtract it. So you take the 101 and you minus the 52 and you're going to get the number 49. 49 is not a prime number, but the 227 is the 49th prime number. But the 49 is big because I go to the tarot cards. And if I look to the 49th card, it's the Queen of Cups. So the 101, it's going to be the Queen and the King because these cards are going to be meshed together. Again, if you don't put the Fool in the 22nd position, all these cards go backwards one digit. So this becomes card number 22, 23, 24. So then the 49 becomes 48 and this becomes 49. So the 101 is is tied to the 49 when you subtract the 52 and it becomes the King and Queen. Either or. And now you're talking about the king chasing the queen, as we've already discussed just a little bit ago. Telling you folks, once you start to synchronize it all, you'll see that it all links up. There are no accidents. It's all scripted. It's all predestined, and everything happens for a reason. That's why even everything happens for a reason in numerology equals 113, and 113 is the 30th prime number, and the 30th card in the tarot is the Eight of Wands, which is right there, which we already went over, which is the mouth. In theology, when God says, I'll spit you out of my mouth. You don't want to play anymore? I'll spit you out of my mouth. I'll spit you out of role playing. Let me show you what this means, just so you can see. This is what the research says now, right? So if you go here, most of you have said this before. Everything happens for a reason. You've heard of this before, right? All right, so that's 113. Well, then you go into mathematics. Is that a big deal? Yeah, it's the 30th prime number. And then you go to the tarot, and you can see that it's the Eight of Wands. And the Eight of Wands is the Eight of Clubs, and the Eight of Clubs is the 21st card in the deck, and the 21st card in the Major Arcana is the World. I will spit you out of my mouth. Okay, that's what it leads to, this. But this, I will spit you out of my mouth. Why is that such a big deal? Because I will spit you out of my mouth. I will spit you out of being role played. Okay? Everything happens for a reason because you're being role played. So if you don't want to play anymore, what will end up happening is I'll spit you out of my mouth and this will happen. Whoops. You'll have an exorcism, which doesn't necessarily, obviously doesn't mean you need to have a priest, have a demon spelled out of you. You have the Spirit of God inside of you. You don't want to play anymore? You don't want to be used anymore? Well, that's what this is saying. Exorcism, you'll no longer be role played. See? Which is tied to this. It's just using Chaldean and the tarot to show you, to get the picture. That's how tightly woven this stuff is when you use this methodology. Is the birth certificate number mean anything? Every number means something. Yes, it all means something. I mean, if you just take the word enter for the tarot to match up with numerology, the science of numbers, the word, a spoken word, okay? The word enter, like enter the game of life, the word enter is 21. You enter the mouth, you enter the portal. Do you see what's on the outskirts of that portal, which is the feminine portal, is the four fixed signs of astrology, which is theology, which is the great beast above, harvesting your energy through that machine. So enter is the world card. And exit, the word exit equals 15, you exit the devil. So here's enter and exit in the tarot through numerology right there. Enter the world, exit the devil. That's what it looks like in tarot. So if you don't want to play anymore, well, it means attachments. It means desires. That's what it simply means through the tarot. And it's a tall order, and I'm not going to tell you how that works because I'm still trying to figure it out, and I can't solidify it. But I'm just telling you, like, people ask me all the time, well, what are you doing, Logan? I'm a minimalist. I don't own anything. I could care less. I love life. I think life is sacred. I love life. I'm a fan of nature, but I don't tune into the mainstream. I don't care about what happened thousands of years ago. I care about what's happening right now, and I care about what's happening for those people around me. I care about you. I care about the people that are in this community. I want everybody to figure it out, but you're going to see me outside, you know, like, what do I do with my free time? I go to the beach. I go in the sun. I go feed the stray cats. I go feed the stray dogs. I study ants. I study insects. I'm not interested in geopolitics. I'm not interested in politics. I'm not interested in what's going to happen. I'm honestly not even interested in like the Phoenix event and all that stuff. I think it's great, and I'm a huge fan of the material, but I don't care about it. Don't care. The word Phoenix equals 36, which is going to be tied to the same card that was tied to September 11th. The word Phoenix in numerology is 36. Here's the 36th card in the deck, which is today's card, which is tied to the King of Clubs, which is card number 26, which is tied to the Yod He Vav He, which is tied to the word source, which is tied to the word occult, which is tied to Adam and Eve. So this is why I've said, you want to know what the Phoenix event is? Everybody's involved in it. If you're here when you're all of it, it's a collection of energy, and the Phoenix, that's why I got Phoenixes tattooed all over my arm. I've had these for about 8 years now. Before I even met Jason and Jordan and talking about these topics, I had them tattooed on my arms. Not even knowing what it meant, but now I know what it means. Because Phoenix equals 36, and I have the 36 card in the tarot is the Knight of Wands, the King of Wands, and this is my spirit card. So I know what it means. I don't believe I know. And I hope you know. Like, and again, it's not like, oh, well, Logan has the truth. No, I have my truth. It may not be your truth. It may not be your truth. If you want to get into the movie, let me show you some fun stuff. Let me get it ready here. I was, as all of you, most of you know, that I was raised a JW, Jehovah's Witness, which I don't regret. I'm going to show you something funny, because to me, whatever God is, whatever it is, which I don't know, and I never probably will ever know, and I don't think anybody will ever know what it really truly is. It's a stand-up comedian. Okay? I'm going to show you some funny stuff. This was given to me by a fellow decoder. His name is Roland. He's a very smart dude. He's a great decoder. He's given me a lot of nuggets over the years. This was one of them. I don't know. He ended up saying it one day, and so I use this a lot. You hear? So see, you're inside of a Hollywood movie. The Earth is a movie set. Okay, Earth is a movie. You're inside of a movie, folks, and this is what they say in movies: lights, camera, action. I mean, look at how ridiculous. Lights is 19. That's tied to the sun. Camera's tied to 16, which is the Tower card, and action is the World card. I mean, you can't get any more obvious than that. But the total is 56. This means the movie now. And if I go to the tarot, you're going to see that these two cards represent the movie because they encroach upon each other. Again, the Fool, if you use the Fool once, this will be card 56. Or if you use it twice, it'll be this. This and this. And if you know you got to know what these cards mean. Right? But the funny part is that the religion I was born in, the JW, they have a songbook. So before the meetings, they'd call them, not church, you stand up and you sing a song at the beginning and at the end. And this is song 56. Make the truth your own. What do you think that says? Beyond whatever this says, because then now you have if you read the lyrics here, this is a fractal. I'm talking about the nucleus. The nucleus is the movie. And you got to make the truth your own. You got to make the movie your own. Okay? To me, that's the true comedy in life. You got to make the truth your own. It's just for you, man. You're the star of the show. That's why, look at the bottom of the deck. I mean, look at, you're the star of the show. You're this. This is the 17th card in the deck. The word Yod-Heh-Vah-Heh in the Chaldean is 17. The word life equals 17. The word story equals 17. The word matrix equals 17. Your earth is a movie, folks. You're being watched. You're being used as a human being to be a star of the show. All the world's a stage and we are merely players. Rush. How many more things do we need to see and hear and listen to and feel and touch to know that your life is, you're playing a star, you're playing a character in the movie. And everybody has their own screenplay. Everybody has their own role. And you're going to like some of the roles. You're not going to like some of the roles. Just like you have your favorite foods and then you have your foods you can't. Like growing up as a kid, I hated onions. I don't mind them raw anymore, but like cooked onions, ugh, slimy and nasty. No way. No, thank you. Don't like them. Right? Then I have my favorite foods like pizza. You're going to have people that you gravitate towards as influencers. Maybe you're an influencer. And people like, do you think everybody likes my material? No, I have a lot of persecution. I'm not in this for subscribers, folks. I'm not in this for you to like me. You got to make the truth your own. You got to make this movie your own. It's your movie. You only get one shot at it. No one knows what happens after you die. There is nobody that can tell you exactly what happens after you die. That is a 1 + 1 = 2 fact. That is not my opinion. That is a fact. You get one shot at it to be a star in the movie. Right here. You get a one shot at it. As far as we know. Yeah, is there a reincarnation? Maybe. Can we get out? Maybe. But you're the star of the show. Most people, they want to be an extra. They don't want to be a star in the show. And how do you become a star in the show? When you stop paying attention to their game. See, because in order for them to be a star, like how does someone become a star? Let's talk about the star card. How does somebody become a true star, a movie star, rock star? Let's talk about music. How does someone become a highly paid touring musician? They need your energy. They need you to pay for them. When they put up a concert, they need you to buy a ticket. When you go to the show and your energy is focused on the rock star or the rock stars on the stage, you're giving your energy to those people and they're taking it from you. If you're a musician and you're in front of 50,000 people and all the energy's on you, wow, what a feeling. Can you imagine the feeling that you get, all these eyeballs staring at you? You're getting all the energy and they're paying you for it because you're selling tickets. And all you got to do is get up there and strum your guitar, strum your bass, sing your songs, slap the drums and bongos and saxophones, whatever you got to do, whatever you're good at as a star. Or maybe you're in politics and you're a president and you're the star of being the president. Or maybe you're the head of a company and you're the star of the company. You're the CEO, the boss. Maybe you're a really high prolific doctor and you're a star doctor or a nurse or a firefighter, or you're somebody who works in the FBI and you're a star analyst in the FBI. Or you work for the Pentagon and you're a 4-star general. That's the code you got. See, the code you got, folks, is the code you got. And is there suppression going on? Well, again, folks, everything is marketing to you. There's marketing. You are marketing. You are a professional marketer. What do I mean by that? What is marketing? I'm trying to sell you something. Buy my course, buy my product, buy my supplement, buy my wine, buy my cologne, buy my deck of cards, buy my microphone, buy my cell phone, buy this, buy that. Everything's marketing. When you go on social media, if you're not selling something, you're selling your life. Look at me. Oh, look at me and the camera. Oh, look at how sexy I look. And you're marketing, 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 marketing. That's the devil, ladies and gentlemen. That is the epitome of the damn devil. And every single one of you is behaving that way because it is your desires and it is of the flesh. This means of the flesh. And many of you are completely addicted to it and you don't even know it. And again, I'm not saying I'm above anybody for saying that. I'm saying we're all victims of it in a sense. We're all guilty of it. Of being being chained to the blocks. But this entire reality runs on freaking marketing. Everybody's trying to sell you something. Or they're trying to sell themselves because they want to get a little piece of action at the end of the night. So they're trying to get this or they're trying to get that. Oh, look at me. Oh, look at me. And then, oh, I'm in Dubai or I'm in here. Look at me. Look at me on the ocean on this big boat. Oh, look at me. Look at me. They're trying to get your eyeballs on them. They're being this. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but I'm saying is that to be the star of the show, you need people to buy into your story. How does somebody get 100,000 subscribers on YouTube? They become a star and they need your energy so they can remain a star. It takes a lot to get 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, by the way. Like I know firsthand. I'm not even halfway there yet. I'm not in it for that, but I'm telling you, it takes a lot to get there. So the more you're willing to put yourself out there and to be addicted to the attention and addicted to the moolah and the attention you get from people reciprocating based upon, hey, I play a really good guitar. Come see me in concert. Buy one of my tickets. You're now promoting that star. And you're taking away from you being the star of the show. What are your gifts to be the star of the show? Maybe you don't care. Maybe you're, some of you, I've talked to so many people, and I know some of you're saying, I'm not coming back. This is my last lifetime. Okay, cool. Maybe that's true. I hear that a lot. I hear it a lot from people. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done playing. I'm not playing anymore. So the people, they go out in the middle of nowhere and they want to be away from society. They don't want to be, I think that's kind of smart. They're like, I'm done. Like when you go to the tarot and if you want to see the classic rendition of saying, I don't want to play anymore, it's the Five of Swords. Okay. It's the card that tells you you're done. I'm done. I'm out. I'm checking out. Right? I'm checking out. Where the hell is it? There it is. This card right here is the card of I'm done. I'm checking out. Okay? This is card number 55/54. I'm done. Let me just change this music. Okay. So this is the card of one of the cards of check. I shouldn't say it's the only card, but it's one of the cards of checking out. I'm done. I'm out. Now the card in the cards of illumination, let me show it to you. What it pairs with so you can get the picture. Here's the chart for the cards of illumination, okay? So we're going to start at the spirit side here, and here's the Five of Spades. Remember, 5 fingers, 5 toes, 5 senses, okay? It sits in the Venus line with Neptune, which has got the devil's pitchfork right there. But the card that is in the same spot is the Four of Diamonds, which is card number 30. Role play is 30. Demiurge is 30. 4 is how many blood types there are. 4. So it's the 5 of Spades and the 4 of Diamonds. Okay? That's what you're looking at through that system. The 30th card in the deck, which pairs with the 5 of Swords, is this one right here. This one. This card right here, maybe you have it as your birth card. I was engaged to one of my ex-fiance a long time ago. This was her birth card. This card right here, that individual sitting in that chair or sitting down, that's God. And behind it, it's the city. Everything it's got. And the Pentacles that's one of you. And so you see, whatever's running this reality doesn't want you to leave. That's why Christoph in the Truman Show was like, he did everything he could to get Truman to stay. Come on, Truman, man. I freaking been with you since birth. Come on, man. It's not any better out there. I'm telling you, you're better off here. That was Christoph right there playing this 4 of diamonds. 4 blood types. 4 corners of the earth. The cube. Saturn's magic square. Pandora's box. That's what Christoph was defending. Come on, Truman. And this card right here, representing the word demiurge, representing role play, is paired with the 5 of Swords. And so what Truman did, 5 of Swords represents your 5 senses, your 5 fingers, your 5 toes. Truman's like, I'm out. In case I don't see you, I'm out, man. And he walked away. He was that individual who threw his sword down and said, I'm done. I'm done. And he walked away. Now, that was metaphorical. There's so many different ways to line that up and define it. Truman was aquaphobic. Why was he aquaphobic? Why did they have him? Because it represented the water, Neptune, Poseidon. Aquaphobic represented water, which is the fish. The word fish equals 17 in numerology. It's this. If you're a star on the show, you're a fish in the matrix, in the story of life. Life is 17, story is 17, matrix is 17, fish is 17, Yod-Heh-Vah-Heh is 17, which essentially is telling you it's the demiurge using you as a human being, as an instrument. Like you pick up a pen and write with it. This pen doesn't have a choice when I want. Hey, you're writing what I want. When I write on a piece of paper, folks, this pen doesn't have a freaking choice. I am the god of the pen. This is my instrument. You wake up every day, you're an instrument. You create through phone calls, through your thinking, which are not even your thoughts. Where do you think your thoughts are coming from? You ever think about that? Where are your thoughts coming from? Got to come from somewhere. So for those of you that don't want to play anymore, maybe you've detached. I'm telling you, it's a tall order. The research shows it is the tallest order you can ever imagine trying to not play the game anymore. It's a tall order. Because I'm going to tell you, let's just be real. What would go into it? What if you have to give up all your holidays? What if that was one of the things you need to check off the box? You got to give up celebrating your birthday. Every time you celebrate your birthday, you celebrate being here in duality. If you don't want to be here anymore, why would you be celebrating it? So you'd have to give up this is all theoretical now, right? I'm not saying this is true. But what if you got to give up your birthdays? You got to give up celebrating all the holidays. Those of you that have kids, are you going to tell your kids we're not doing Christmas this year? Good luck with that. But what if that's one of the requisites? Got to give up all your boats and cars and planes and money and chasing stardom and being a star in the show. Got to give all that up. What if that was the case? Could you do it? See, then fear sets in because it's like, well, how am I going to afford this? And what about my this? And what about that? And yeah, and again, I don't have it all figured out, but I'm just throwing out some things to think about. But when I look at the system that has been given to me, and I didn't discover it, folks. I'm just a syncretist, I'm somebody who takes all these systems and plugs them all together, and then out comes Like, that's what risk management is. You take all the possibilities of your life. If you're somebody who is going to insure somebody and they go through a risk management system, you punch into the computer all the variables of what you do in life, and then out the other end comes the simulation. Like, what would it be simulated as? This would be the outcome, and this is how much your insurance is going to cost. What would your life look like as a human being? So that's what I got. And again, these are possibilities to think about. I'm not saying they're true. You got it, folks. My foundation is your truth is all that matters, not mine. Which alleviates the burden of any division. You don't need to defend what you believe, but you're programmed to do it. Anything outside of you is really wanting to defend your truth. And anything different from that, you're programmed to try to hammer people. That's just the programming of the way the world works. So, Jewel of Aquarius, are they even your thoughts? How can they be my thoughts? Everything has an origin, a source. Where are your thoughts coming from? Seven of Swords is one of the cards of the Truman Show. Okay? It's one of the cards of the Truman Show. It's also tied to the number, like lights, camera, action. Okay? I already went over the lights, camera, action with the lights, camera, action being 56 tied to your movie. It's the movie. Remember, folks, the most popular sport in the entire world is football. Not American, soccer, if you're not over in the European countries. The soccer ball is the most popular sport in the world. So, of course, that's a big deal. What's on the shape of the soccer ball is a pentagram or a pentagon and a hexagon. Shape number 5 and shape number 6. 56. Lights, camera, action. That's why that's synchronized that way. Well, the 7 of Swords is a card that is attached to the number 56. This is card 56/57. The Truman Show is 57 in numerology. 57 is tied to the element nickel. Nickel is tied to the sun. Why do I say that? Because in money, what is a nickel in U.S. currency? It is a 5-cent piece. How many senses do you have? 5. What's the 5th house of astrology? Leo the lion, which represents your ego because the lion works in the pride. And the 5th house of astrology is ruled by the sun. Spirit into matter. That's why in 1 Peter 5 verses 8, it says, the devil walks around like a roaring lion. The Logos. Why do you think the sun is worshipped in so many cultures? Sol Invictus and Mithra and Helios and Jesus. Why do you think they're all worshipped that way? The 7 of Swords represents the crown. It's the 7 of Spades. If you're a 7 of Spades, 7 of Swords, you're going to be somebody who's in line with the 7s, which are the mystics, because you sit at the crown position. Like when you study the chakras, here's my fun smiley face chakras. This, if you're a 7 life path, if you're a 7 of Spades, 7 of Diamonds, 7 of Clubs, 7 of Hearts, if you're born on the 7th, you're going to have some mysticism attached to you, because in the days of creation, which are here, right? The last day of creation is in the 3rd eye position. Go figure. Are we just in the dream or the mind of the cosmos? Is it just dreaming all this up? Well, a lot of the research says we're just inside of a dream. But the last day of creation is here, and then on the 7th day, God rested. So the 7 of Swords is classically known as a card of strategy and the opposite, deception. Because in this position, you're looking down at all of your creation. And you're kind of the captain of the ship up here. Looking down. So all the sevens sit here, and it's the mystic. Which is why, in astrology, it's Libra, the scales of justice, because you got to be balanced up here. Or should be balanced. And balanced is homeostasis, which is neutrality, folks. It is not hot or cold. This is hot or cold. This is where most people spend the majority of their life, if not their whole life, right down here. They're addicted to sex. They love their orgasms. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it now. I'm just telling you, this is the game. They love, like a lot of you are slaves to your stomach. Your stomach says, I'm hungry, I'm starving. A lot of people say that. You're not starving. I'm hungry, and the stomach says, feed me, and the belly of the beast is right here. That's your belly. You're the beast. Man's the beast in the fractal below. And this is the belly of the beast for you, and a lot of you have addictions to your digestion, your stomach. Feed me, feed. Some of you are hungry right now, and you give in to that. You're a slave to your hunger. And then you're a slave to sex. Some of you can't, and some people have addictions. So again, am I going to tell them they're wrong? So this is hell right here. That's why fire is red, orange, and yellow. And then on the opposite end, you have heaven. Hello, because heaven represents the thalamus and the pineal gland, where you think, and the crown position. This. But no matter what, you're going to play both sides. Seven of Swords is up here, right? So you play both sides of the fence. This is neutrality. Staying here and living and realizing that down here, like here's your criminals and vigilantes and the bad guys, right? And then the good guys would be up here. But you can't have one without the other. But when you're in the middle and you're observing both sides and you're saying, oh, well, this side needs this side. Well, then you're in the middle, and then you're free. You're free with this position. But I hope that helped you out with the Seven of Spades. I was a little bit way off in left field there, but anyway. What about 65? Well, the 65th card in the tarot can be the Ace of Pentacles. That's another good one, right? So let's talk about the 65. 65th card in the tarot is going to be the Ace/2 of Pentacles. I'm just going to go on the Ace of Pentacles because it's a big deal. So just, by the way, the words son of the morning in Hebrew, you know what that's tied to, right? Lucifer, son of the morning. That's 65. 65 is tied to the element zinc, which is element number 30, which is Demiurge, Jehovah. 65 is tied to the element terbium. Terbium has a compact disc as its icon, telling you that light creates this reality, right? You need the light bringer or the demiurge or God, whatever, to write on this whole entire reality. And this is the 65th card in the deck. The Ace of Pentacles, which is card number 27 in the cards of illumination. It's the Ace of Diamonds. So what does this card mean? You see that little pentacle in the hand there? That's the gift of life. Here you go. Here's a new job. Here's a new lover. Here you go. Here's a new baby. Here's a new pet. Here's a new pair of sneakers. Here's a new bicycle. Here's a new car. Because the pentacles in the tarot represent materialism. Now, in the cards of illumination, to convert it, it's the Ace of Diamonds. This is card number 27. So I'm going to show you the 27 because this is a pretty big deal. This is 27. You know what the thalamus is, right? Well, when you go look at the brain, this is not any, like, none of you are exceptions to this. This is what you're going to see. Okay? This is what you're going to see right here. This big dot right there is the thalamus, which is the golden egg of your brain. Okay. Now, a lot of reference is, a lot of intention is to the pineal, but what about the thalamus? It's the biggest section of the brain when you cut this thing in half, and thalamus is 27. Just like this. You want to go to heaven? It's in the brain. Oh, you want to follow this? It's in the brain. Or how about this? Oh, the sports. But ultimately, ladies and gentlemen, it's all this. It's vampire. The thalamus inside your brain is a vampire feeding off of you. And it's feeding off of your currency. That is why the Ace of Pentacles is card 65, which is card 27 in the Cards of Limit. This right here is the never-ending gift of life. And again, you got to separate. It's not good or bad. It just is. We got to stop. We got to get it right here, man. This does not mean that it's bad. How can that be bad? This is the Ace of Diamonds. This is the gift. Okay? The 27, it's the gift. It wants to continually give to you through this. And 65 is tied to Lucifer, the light bringer, which means the game, which is your ego. This is constantly give it, like, do you want this? Do you want that? How about this? How about that? Oh, I'm bored with this. Oh, I need to get another pair of jeans. I need to buy another car. I need another lover. I need to have sex. I need to have a baby. I need to have a pet. I need. It's never enough, folks. It's never enough, man. It is never enough. And once you get it, then you're going to move to this. And now you're going to have to freaking juggle shit. It moves to the Two of Diamonds, the Two of Pentacles. And now this represents your yin yang right there. 66. But the 65 on then you take this and you go to the periodic table. And you get terbium, which the clue is this. Right there. It's a compact disc. What do compact discs have to do with Earth? This is Earth right here. And if you're somebody who used to buy compact discs, I grew up with records and the 8-tracks, records, and then cassettes. I was somebody who would have a dual cassette player, and I would record a cassette to a cassette. But then when CDs came out, I was having a field day, because then I got a CD writer, and then I could burn CDs. Well, what burns the CD? A light diode. A diode burns the CD. A diode. Okay? What does diode have in it? Dio. Dio means God. Okay? Light, God. It's a Dio. And 417 is Lucifer. Those are the numbers of Lucifer right there, according to Manly P. Hall. Dio. Which is the hangman, because it's card number 12, and that's 12. Diode is what's needed to write on this compact disc. These are writable compact discs. That's why this element, 65, is, if you go to the uses and properties, what does it say? It represents terbium, used to be in the manufacture of the first rebitable compact disc. 65 is son of the morning. It never ends, folks. This never ends. It will just get reformatted into a different age. That's all that's going to happen. So the 65, which is this, is the gift of life, which now you know it represents your thalamus, like the ideas coming into your brain. Ace of Pentacles. This is this. The aces, this is the, by the way, this card is tied to Khufu. Khufu is 27. I have said so many times on my podcast, I've said that the Great Pyramid of Giza, if that thing were to get taken out, man, it would. I believe our reality would change in a big way. I mean, it's got a pyramid right on the damn card. It's got a tetrahedron right on it, octahedron. 2 tetrahedrons put together, which is the Lucy in the sky with diamonds. The sun. That's why Lucifer is tied to the sun, the light bringer, the son of the morning. What's another word for morning? The dawn. And if you go to the periodic table, it's Ra-dawn, Radon. Ra, the sun god, and Dawn, Ra-dawn, Radon, Lucifer. Tied to the sun. It's the ego. That's why the devil is tied to the sun, and it's tied to the roaring lion, because it wants to devour you, and it wants you. It needs you for your desires, man. It needs you for your desires. It needs to use you as an instrument, like you use a pen. You need the pen to write on the piece of paper. Where's my pen at? Next time you're looking for a pen, try to remember that. This pen's your little slave. And you're using it. I know it's a simple metaphor, but that's what it means. What number? I haven't done the hippocampus. Let me see. I haven't done the whole brain, but that's a 54. Hippocampus is 54, which is another Lucifer connection, because phosphorus equals 54, and phosphorus is the 15th element, which is tied to the devil card, which is tied to desires. Folks, you are the devil. Okay? I'm just going to be straight up with you. Some of you, you're going to get offended by this. I'm not here to offend you. Trust me. I'm not asking you to believe me, but you're the devil. You're it. We are all the devil. You're this. And you can't help it. Because every day when you wake up, you're like, what am I going to do? What am I going to go eat today? What am I going to go create today? What am I going to pay attention to? Who am I going to tune in today? Who am I going to give a like to on YouTube? Who am I going to subscribe to today? Who am I going to unsubscribe to today? What am I going to tune into? What movie am I going to watch? What show am I going to watch? Folks, you're a slave to the machine. Don't you see that? You're a slave to the machine. The machine does not take any prisoners, man. It just eats you up. Welcome to the machine. Pink Floyd had it, right? I decoded the song. Machine is the Christ, folks. You are having the Jesus Christ Superstar experience. Jesus Christ means you. That's why the whole metaphorical aspect of Jesus, he was telling you to the ego. It's the spirit versus the ego. Do you want to know what it looks like in the tarot? Here it is. Spirit. Let me just show you, all of you, so you can see it. This is what you got going on. You have the spirit, which is the voice in your head, and then you have the ego, okay? 34 is tied to the tree of life. 19 and 15. Well, there's your spirit and ego right there. You see it? Spirit is 19, soul is 19, battery is 19. The word Adam and Eve in the original Hebrew spelling, when you reduce them all the way down, is the 19. The 1 and the 9 are opposite ends of the numerical spectrum, which represent the anode and the cathode. You are living inside of a battery, ladies and gentlemen. You're being harvested for your energy. It ain't a bad thing. It's just the freaking way it is. And there's nothing you can do about it. So you might as well go do what you got to do and stop freaking trying to defend your shit, trying to put people down, trying to say they're wrong. Nobody is wrong. Everybody is just doing what they're supposed to be doing. The whole thing is when people are going after other people, they don't even realize they're giving them energy. They're making them even stronger. It's no different than going to a rock concert and staring at that musician and saying, yeah, and yeah. You're giving them your energy, and you paid a ticket to do it on top of it. So if you're somebody who's out there and you're criticizing somebody's work, you're giving them energy. And that is not even my opinion. That's a fact. It's like you're giving your free gas away. Here you go. But you'll do it with anger instead, and it's even more powerful because it's the strongest form of your ego. A lot of anger. That's why you don't see me. I'm not doing that, man. But that's my code. I'm here to tell you, like, that's what I do. You don't have to agree with what I do. I'm just giving you the eyes to see how it's the simplicity of this reality. Like the great when I was really playing in the game, I was a big fan of what the heck's his name? Grant Cardone. Awesome guy. Heavily playing the game. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Bob Proctor. Heavily playing the game. Why do you think people are attracted to the law of attraction? Because they want to attract millions of dollars and they want the cars and the boats and I want to have this. And folks, every time you end up attaching more shit to your life, you become more and more of that card right there. I'm not saying it's wrong though. Just telling you that's the machinations of how this reality works. Grant Cardone, man, high level, like wizard, like super smart. I got a couple of his books when I was on the seminar circuit, man. He was the go-to guy. And he had said, if nobody hates you, nobody knows you. That's what he said. He said, if nobody hates you, nobody knows you. He's right. When people can't stand you and hate you and this and that, man, you get the energy from that. So TJ says it's called a false. How can it be a false statement? It's your false statement. You got to reword I would just ask you to consider rewording your vocabulary. No, when you say that's false, no, it's false to you. You're not going to say it that way though. Because I get it. You're living out your movie and your truth. But the reality is, if you know how the machinations of this reality works, no, it's not true for you. This reality is so much fun, man, when you could just be an observer and you could just look at somebody and I see how the game's playing out. It's just hysterical. It's funny to me. Rodney says Hebrew wasn't the original language of biblical record, was it? I don't know. I wasn't there, and there isn't anybody out there that can tell you a 1 + 1 = 2 fact of what language it was. The only thing they're going to reference are things in history which have been manipulated. So you tell me, which is it? Greek, Latin, Hebrew? It doesn't. Here's the thing. Here's my answer to any of those kinds of things. It doesn't matter what language it was written in. I'll just decode all the languages. And I'll come to the mathematical equations and I'll see the patterns and it comes to the same end result. And that is that this reality is scripted, it is predestined, and mankind's not in the control of it. That's my truth though. Based upon all the research, and that's all I do, folks. If I tell you what my addiction is, decoding. It's an addiction of mine. Has been for a very long time. Yeah, what is Jewel says, she mentioned the word propaganda. Let's see, I want to see, it's so funny. I like these words. Yeah, that's a 40, which is tied to duality. Propaganda. 40, which is tied to, which is tied to the implant. That's how funny this reality is. Propaganda is 40. Let me give you the tarot. That's funny. See, someone says, that's propaganda, and then somebody says, no, that's truth. No, it's propaganda. No, that's lies. No, that's deception. No, that's the truth. No, it's really this. No, how could you believe that? When it says it right here. When it says it right here, it's this. Man, it's just, this reality is all about influence and marketing. Everybody's out there marketing their truth, and it's so fun to watch. But anyway, propaganda is a 40. And I can't even find the card. Oh, here it is. So again, it's all about the brain. Propaganda is 40. The 40th card in the deck is the notorious, infamous Ace of Spades. Where is he at? There it is right here. Which propaganda is the number 40, and here's the notorious Ace of Spades, and that converts into the Ace of Swords, which is card 51, which is tied to the element antimony, and antimony comes from the Greek word antimonos, meaning not alone, which is tied to the implant in your brain. So propaganda, what is propaganda? How about it's just information? Well, it's deceiving me. It's deceiving you. Well, it's teaching you something. So again, if you roll back the words, right, and you go, like, everything has a reason. Everything happens for a reason again. It's all tied to role play. This whole reality, man, to me is a joke. It's a joke. It's so much fun, man. So much fun. Nothing even makes sense when you realize that you go down the hole. And even when you study all this stuff, you realize how many possibilities are available for you. And you realize that marketing and influencing is the only thing that really matters. And everybody's out to get your energy because they either want your money, or they want you to be their friend, or they want you to stare at them, or they want you to give them a like, or they want you to give them a comment, or they want you to do something. So that way there'll be a reciprocation of energy. It's just all this, and it's all that. What do you think a battery is, folks? Inside the hood of your car, you'll flip it open. If you look at how a battery works, it's the transfer of energy back and forth through the cells of the battery. What do you think's going on inside your body? Your body, you have trillions of cells. It's exchange of energy, ATP. Creates the energy explosion, just like a piston going up creates an explosion when the mixture of gas and air combines with the spark plug when it goes off and it pushes the piston down. Energy exchange. Those are little mini big bangs. You're having those in your entire life. And as you exchange with people, if you get into a debate with somebody, you're wrong. You're having this energy exchange, and you're giving them your energy. That's what you're doing. It's inevitable. But this is all battery stuff. You're a battery. And we feed the battery. And even what I'm telling you here, it's an exchange. And I know I'm getting, some of you can't stand me. So you're giving me this hate energy, which I'm just going to transmute it because I know how it works. I don't really care. And then some of you are maybe on the fence. So all of you are talking in your mind, and you're texting, and we're having this exchange, right? It's like being at a rock concert. Like, yeah, look at him playing the guitar up there, right? Like, again, folks, my position is not to tell you how to play the game. It's to show you how the game works. I don't care how you play it. Not my position. It's not my job how to play it. My job is to show you how it works. Part of it. And you can do it with the tarot cards, clearly. You can do it with numerology. You can do it with alchemy. I mean, it's so easy to see. The word, I mean, look at this. The word kingdom of God in Greek numerology in the New Testament, right there, 46, kingdom of God. 46 card in the deck. What does that best portray the kingdom of God? It's happy home. Some of you, or I would say the majority of you, have felt this, have experienced this. Like, woohoo! Maybe you bought your new house, bought a new car, had a newborn kid, new dog, new pet, whatever. You felt this. Got a raise, won the lottery, whatever. The kingdom of God. There it is. The tarot. So how evil is the tarot? When you can take it to tie it right to the Bible. Oh, man. Woo. It's just this freaking reality, folks. Maybe I'm a little red today because I went up I got some sun today. It was really nice today in Mexico. Boy, I wish all of you could come here and see how glorious Mexico is, especially those of you that are in the cold. But anyway, I'm like sweating. I'm hot. This reality is just a lot of fun, man. Yeah, Joe says my dad can beat up your dad. That's how it is in this, folks. If you look at people out there that are marketing, right? I would just encourage all of you, start looking at your reality as everybody's trying to sell you something. Everybody is trying to sell you shit. Whether it's their life, it's their story, whether it's, even the word marketing equals 27. Just like thalamus, your brain's being marketed to. Which is this. Someone comes in with a new idea, marketing. Here you go. Hey, buy my product, buy my course. Listen to my live podcast. Watch my What's Your Question. If you start looking at your whole entire reality, it's all based on marketing, which is the vampire. It's using you. You're being used to experience life through. You're not even in control of your life. That's why everything happens for a reason. But the fun part about it is when you start to look at your reality, and you, like just tonight, when you go on YouTube, you're going to start to see what's in your playlist, what's marketing to you, what artists are coming at you, what videos are being pushed towards you. You plop on your Netflix or your Amazon Prime, what's marketing to you, what's the hot new movie, what's the #1 movie in America, what's the #2 movie in Mexico, all these things. Oh, I think I'll watch that. You're constantly this. And it's never enough. And if you say, well, I don't watch TV, yeah, but okay, so it'll be something else. If you just shut out the outside world and you go outside and you start studying nature will start marketing to you. Which I think is, to me, that's the best overall experience. But, like I love my computer, I love my graphic design, I love creating music. So, there's that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. But, again, it's when you start to play the game, when you get on the court, you're going to get marketed to. You're going to get the Ace of Pentacles. And now it wants to sell you something. It wants to give you something. It wants your likes. It wants your subscription. It wants your Patreon. It wants whatever it wants. It's funny, I'm telling you. So when the church tells you that the devil runs this reality, yeah, it's called your ego. Forget about religion. Religion is 27, folks. Religion is 27. It's this. It's the same thing as vampire. Religion equals 27. Vampire equals 27. Thalamus equals 27. Currency equals 27. Marketing equals 27. Religion is marketing to people. Nothing wrong with it. If you want to buy into it, are you buying what they're selling? For me, I'm not interested in it. Not interested in that. That's boring to me. Because you're heavily playing the game. Like now it's this organization. Folks, inside your body right now, I did this whole thing. Inside your body, you have an immune system. Right? Your immune system. Well, what created the immune system? Well, the answer would be, well, God did, right? Okay, great. Well, what did God create the immune system for? To protect the body from invaders like pathogens, bacteria, viruses, fungi, etc. Okay, well, what created those invaders? Well, it had to have been God, because God wouldn't have created the immune system to protect the body from these things. So you have the yin yang playing out in your freaking body, man. Right inside your body. You have this going on inside your body. Right there. And this card means the yin yang. It's card 68/69. It is the 69. And this is a representation of the church, which is those windows in the background, represent your immune system. And then outside in the cold represents the invaders. You're not protected in the world. So the church is saying, come into the church. We'll protect you. But of course, the church needs your tithing, needs your money. It needs your energy. It needs your service, because it needs your energy for it to continue to grow. Just like politics, just like the news, just like sports teams. If everybody stopped watching football, guess what would happen to the NFL? It would quickly go downhill. And all those multi-million-dollar contracts of all those star players, they would get removed. And they'd have a wake-up call very quick. Uh-oh. This whole entire reality, folks, is all marketing. And that's what's marketing to you. And you know what this means? Desire. That's it. That's it. Desire. So the next time you want to go on a bike ride, the simplistic aspect of it, it's your desire. I desire to. Or next time you want to go out with the girls on a Saturday night to go wherever, and you want to get all dolled up, desire. Or the next time, you're a dude and you want to go try to pick up a chick or something, desire. You can try to dance around it and like, oh no, but I just want to fall in love. And yeah, well, how do you get to love? You got to desire first. You got to have the desire to do it. Well, that's going to be tied to the thalamus and the never-ending marketing that's going on to your reality. And it never ends. Sometimes you just want to say, I'm not playing anymore. I'm done. I'm out. Not playing anymore. Don't want to play anymore. So TJ says, if you're going to tell me honor your slave masters is what it is, I'm not rocking with it. Then great, go do that, bro. I'm not telling you that. But again, I mean, see, you're assuming that's and if you're not, unless you're meaning that to me, I don't know if you're meaning that to me, because there's a lot of comments. Maybe this is somebody else. But to me, there are no slave masters. There's no master other than the voice in your head. So see, I'm not. You're not going to hear me call anybody elite. There are no elites. No such thing. Not in my world. No elites. You're the elite. See, when you say, oh, the elites, you know what you're doing? You take this and you're not a star anymore. If you think there are elites, because that means you're thinking there's somebody superior above you. There's no such thing as a slave master. There's just the machine. And there are components to the machine. Just like if you open up your cell phone and you pop open this thing and you look inside of it, it's a machine. And every component is necessary. You pull one of those little things off in there, it ain't gonna work. I don't care how big of a processor you got. All the components are the necessary machinations of the machine. There are no such thing as slave masters, man. That's something you came up with, or you're regurgitating, or you're adopting as your belief. That's my truth, though. If you don't agree with that, that's totally cool. See, when you start saying these things, you're not only putting yourself below, like kind of like saying going to, like I already talked about this on Friday, like if you go to AA, if you go have fun. If you go to AA, great. But next time you go, you know what I would say you do? Stand up and say, hi, my name's Logan, and I used to be an alcoholic. Make sure you emphasize, I used to be an alcoholic, and see what kind of people look at you like, what? Do you want to just fit in with the crowd? And say, hey, my name's Logan, and I'm an alcoholic. Okay, yay. Yeah, there's the elite. There's no freaking elite, man. There's none of that. There's just you. And that's it. Simple as that. But some of you get offended. You don't like my truth. That's totally fine. And again, like, I stand in my truth just like you stand in yours. But I certainly am not going to bend over and call somebody an elite or a master. Ain't going to happen. Nope. Not going to do it. Tessarine is asking, where can you find what playing cards match up with the tarot? Well, I have charts for that. You can email me those. Email that quest. decodeyourreality@gmail.com. decodeyourreality@gmail.com. And you can request those charts. TJ's over here. They're vampires, and I sent him an email, and so TJ, what you're doing is you're sending me your truth, expecting me or anticipating me to side or agree with you, and I'm not going to do that. And that's totally cool, right? Because that ends division. You go do you. If you want to call people masters and you think you're a slave and you want to continually call people elites and you want to and this is, listen folks, you know what you're doing? Everybody here, and we all do it, myself included, you will justify your position in life without any exception. Justifying meaning you'll scrape up whatever information you can to verify, to prove your case. Well, it's this, and I read it over here, and it was written over here, and that makes it true. True for you. Make the truth your own. That ends all division. That ends all division. And there's going to be layers of that, like, okay, well, I mean, what's your ethics and morals and all that kind of stuff? TJ says they're the ones driving the Phoenix rituals. How are you to prove that, TJ? How are you to prove that there's a certain group of people perpetuating Phoenix events, and where are you getting Phoenix from? Is that something you came up with, or is that something you have identified with and you've now brought it into your vocabulary and your truth, and now you've bolted it onto rituals, which is another idea that you probably regurgitating from somebody else, and you're putting the two together, and now you're coming to, and this is, again, I'm not saying you're wrong, I'm just saying these are the machinations, and now you're perpetrating that some group is doing Phoenix rituals on the world, which I'm not saying you're wrong, but how are you to prove that? How would you support that? This is the devil card. Is there anybody here that wants to deny that? Can there be anybody here that can deny that? Sure. But if we're going to be honest and authentic, that's the devil card. Now, if we want to talk about who's doing this or what group's responsible for this or what group's responsible for that, well, then that's a very big, tall order. That's a way different scenario than somebody this. Okay? So again, see, you're looking, to me, you're looking into a lot of mainstream. It tells me a lot. Like, I see your playlist. You're in the mainstream. You're playing in the mainstream. You're heavily focused on the mainstream, and that's what you're going to get back is the mainstream, because that's what you're focused on. Energy goes where attention flows. So that's what you're getting back. It's feeding, the machine is feeding you back Phoenix rituals, and it's them doing it. That's what the machine is feeding back to you, because that's what you're staring at. That's what you're looking for. And I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that's Magic 101. So he says, no, you have no clue about who Majestic is. TJ, man, much love, bro. Like, just keep doing you, man. Keep doing you. So you say you completely missed the Guatemala rituals. Yeah, I did. I don't follow the mainstream. I'm not interested in it. So yeah, I missed that. It's not part of my reality. So yeah. So you are mainstream. Guatemala rituals, from Egypt to Guatemala in the blacklist. So this is all mainstream stuff. What are you talking about? Oh, man. Mankind's not... Okay, so my foundation is mankind's not running this reality. So it's not anybody doing anything. They're just being used to do it. It's all about love, bro. So whatever you want to continue to do, keep doing it. It's all good, man. TJ goes on to say, you need the bend, but do I need it or do I gotta want it? I don't want it. I don't care. Just keep doing you, bro. That's all good. I appreciate your support. I know you've been here for a very long time supporting this channel. So I'm a fan of your code. I just don't follow the mainstream. You know, like there's certain things I just don't follow. So. They didn't build the pyramids for a cigarette shop. Yeah, who built the pyramids? We don't know. Here's the thing about the pyramids, folks. Come on, let's be real here, right? No one knows who built the pyramids. All we have are theories, because no one was there when they were built. Now, if you were there watching somebody build the pyramids, then you could say with authenticity and integrity and honesty that, yes, I know who built the pyramids. But the truth is, nobody knows, here in this group anyway, who built the pyramids. It will be a guess. It will be a guess, man. So anyways, I'm going to get away from that, but I wish you much love, man. I appreciate you, and I respect your position, but I just not interested in that stuff. Like trying to figure out, what happened 100 years ago is a tall order, because you have to rely on history. History has been manipulated, and manipulated is a fun, fancy word for just everything happens. So you're talking about data that you can't verify, other than verifying it with a book or with a passage, or it was in this artifact, or that's what you're using for verification. But for me, I'm a doubting Thomas. If I wasn't there and I didn't see it, I question it. That's me, though. Anybody can say anything they want, but to verify things, that's a tall order. Very tall order. I'll touch on this. I'll touch on, let's touch on Phoenix, since this is a big topic. I'll show you how this whole thing ties into mathematics and numbers and all that kind of stuff. So let's start. We'll start here with numerology, right? Phoenix. And we'll go into the tarot with this. So, and there's so many different, if we put it into the English, you're going to get the 91. That's tied to Lucifer right away. Okay. Thomas John Ellis Hooper. Okay. The actor they cast, let me just show you this. So, Thomas John Ellis Hooper is his full birth certificate name with his mother's maiden name. There's the 91. Thomas John Ellis. is the guy that they casted to play Lucifer. Okay? So he's the devil. He was born on November 17th, which in leap years is the 322nd day of the year. Oh boy. All right? He's being used to play his... You think this guy had a choice? He's on the 17th. That's the star card. But anyway, his birth certificate name is, with his mother's maiden name, is 91, which is tied to the Phoenix. Okay? Right there, if you want to include the English. But I don't want to confuse you, right? Because multiple ciphers give you so many different options, and then where do you go from there? But anyway, Phoenix is tied to this, which is tied to the operating, as in the operating system, which is lights, camera, action, the movie. The movie is the operating system of this reality. And it never ends, it just changes. So the Phoenix is a 36. And when you go to the tarot, it's going to be these two cards right there, because again, when we do tarot, if you remove this Fool card, it moves all the cards back. So these cards have a double number to them. But let's just use the 78 cards with the Fool as the 0 and the 22. It's the King of Wands. Today is the King of Wands day. This is the card that was attached to September 11th. If I go to the cards of illumination and I show you the boilerplate chart for the cards, and I go to September and I go to the 11th, it's the King of Clubs. How about that? So we have the King of Clubs being tied to the King of Wands, which is card 36, which is tied to the word Phoenix. Well, what do you think happened on September 11th? Was that a Phoenix event? You bet your ass it was. Definitely can categorize that. 3,000 people lost their lives. 36, and it's tied to the operating system. The operating system. 36. If you go to the periodic table, it's tied to the element Krypton. Krypton, the home of Superman, which means hidden. Krypton is where you're going to get cryptocurrency. And that's why this character came in the age of Pisces and said, my kingdom is no part of this world. Follow me into the house with a man bearing a pitcher of water. Yeah, he's talking about this, Aquarius. And that's why in Revelation 21, verses 1, it says there will be a new heaven and a new earth. Yeah, it's the age of Aquarius. Hello, which is the age of the Christ, which is tied to this, because you need a clearing of the board, the Phoenix. And then the number 36 in mathematics, look how big it is. It's the 8th triangular and the 6th square number. You got to know what mathematics means. So it's a very deep code here, right? You got to know what these numbers mean. You got to add up all 8 numbers through the triangular. You got to add up all numbers of the square. You can get into the sine and cosine wave, which I did a whole course on. And this is not even a prime number, but look at what happens when you look at the sum of the divisors. Look at what it is, 91, which is tied to Lucifer. So Lucifer is tied to Jesus, which is tied to the Phoenix event, which is tied to the clearing of the board. Phoenix, which is tied to the King of Wands, the King of Clubs, tied to the Yod-Heh-Vah-Heh. Okay? That's why Jesus and the Yod-Heh-Vah-Heh, they're all tied together. Lucifer, they're all tied together. All of it's tied together. It's a Ponzi scheme. It's a Ponzi scheme, which is going to be right here. Ponzi scheme is 53, yeah. It ends in heartbreak. Everything is destined to fail, folks. It's just so easy to see this, man. That's why it's just, what do you believe in? What is it you believe in? Just go do that. Just go do that. All right. Let me shuffle the cards. I'm gonna pull one tarot card. That's it. I already did the reading for Friday, but let's end this. Let's talk tarot. 5. This was a fun one. TJ's asking about the 424. I'd have to look. I don't on memorization. I don't have anything on that. I have to look and see. But give me something else it's tied to. I mean, that's just a base. What number is tied to the 424? I mean, it reduces down to the number 1. So that's pretty big. See, any number you get, remember, there is a methodology that I use, and I'll share it with all of you. There are 52 cards in a deck of playing cards, right? 52 of them. We know Prison Planet equals 52. So this is a pretty big number to use for your decoding. If you get a number like 424, you're going to subtract 52 until you get to 52 or below to then get a card of illumination tied to it, which will give you a tarot card. So let's see what the 424 is. You're going to go 8 times. Yeah, you got to go 8 times. So it gives you the 8. It gives you an 8, man. The 424 ends up reducing down to the number 8, which is the 8 of hearts, which is the 8 of cups, which is the 44th card in the deck, which is tied to transhumanism, which is tied to spirit into matter, which is tied to welcome to the jungle, the 424. So that's one layer of it. Beyond the other layers of mathematics and primes and composites and the sum of divisors and, you know, the square or square root. I mean, there's so many layers to this whole code. Maddie says, should I be in Dallas on April 8th or nah? The answer is already in the question. You already asked. Of course you should. That's why you're asking. Should I go on vacation? Yeah. You asked. Should I buy a new tuxedo? Yeah. Should I get a new pair of shoes? Yeah. That's why you're asking. Like, you're looking at your old pair of shoes like, man, these things are freaking haggard. Get a new pair. Tia Roberts is asking about I went over the eclipse. I talked about the eclipse in my, go check out my Pope 201. I covered the eclipse at the very end, the chart. I'll just pull it up because you asked. Let me just pull it up and I'll show all of you. I don't think I have it available. Let me just open it up. Then I'm going to split. Damn, has it been freaking 3 hours already? Of course it has. Okay, hold on. So here's my Pope 201 decoded. All of you should watch it because if you want to know why he resides in Suite 201, well, you'll have better understanding. But it's tied to Mercury. But this is the chart for the total eclipse. The timestamp for this is, I think, 4:37. I don't know. I did it when the maximized eclipse was happening. So it was around 4 p.m. or 4:30 p.m. or something like that. So, the houses could change. The sun being right here, it's around 4:30, I think, p.m. But yeah, look at all this energy in Pisces. Now, if you're somebody who uses tropical, well, then you're going to get, the sun it'll be in Aries, which I think I know it's over here. It's at 26 degrees Pisces, but this is sidereal. But all this energy, the big marker was where Kronos is with Mars, right on top of Mars. I mean, they're literally getting busy with it. This is when Kronos moves into the 25th nakshatra, and the Pope, his chart, he's got Kronos right there as well in the 25th. And this is all tied to crypto. Right, the whole Bible and all that, by the way, to me is a book about transhumanism and cryptocurrency. But Right there, crypto's 25, and Chronos moves into the 25th nakshatra in the sign of Aquarius. Aquarius is the electrical age. It is going to be the age of crypto. It is the kingdom of the Christ, because that's why Jesus says, my kingdom is no part of this world. Move with me into a house with a man bearing a pitcher of water. The whole Bible is astrology. It's metaphorical. But this is the lineup right here. You're looking at it. And, you know, the big marker, as well as the cluster of Neptune being in Neptune's home. Neptune to me rules Pisces. I know, you know, Jupiter is the old school, but once Neptune was discovered, it became the ruler of Pisces. And I mean, what better planet to represent Pisces? Because Pisces is the fish and Poseidon runs the waters. So you have Poseidon in its natural domicile house, which is a big freaking deal. You got Venus in that as well. You got the moon there as well, of course, because it's that total eclipse, the sun, and you have the desire of Rahu in the sign of Pisces, all in the 12th sign. And 12 is tied to Lucifer. All of it. Because Halil, which is the original spelling of it, equals the number 12, which is the 12th house of Pisces. That's why Pisces is tied to Peter, the Pope. The first Pope was Peter. Which, you know, keep in mind that the word Peter is a 24, okay, which is tied to the word church, which is tied to the word machine. So what is the machine? It's the church. It's part of the machine. It's part of it. And the first Pope is Peter, which is this is Jesus. Jesus is 24 in Greek numerology. How many hours in the day? 24. It's solar, lunar. Okay, so the church, 24. Okay, 24, 24, 24. All right. Yep. I'm telling you, man. And then you don't have to just do the deducing of the 52. You can take the total amount of tarot cards, get your total outcome, subtract 78 or 77 or both, and you'll get a tarot card attached to the number. If you get it in the hundreds, you know, if you take the number 100, which is tied to Sirius, and you subtract 78, you're going to get the card number 22, which is the Fool card. So that's telling you that Sirius, which just may be, it's the one. If you go study, you ever seen the show The 100? They come off the ship. They're prisoners sent down to Earth to see if it's inhabitable, and they become the sky people. The 100. Cass Morgan and her series of books. I already decoded all that stuff. But it's Sirius tied to the number 100. You subtract 100 from 78, the tarot cards, you get 22. 22 is the Fool card. Those people that came off the ark in the 100, if you watch that show, I'm watching it again. I'm in season 4, like bits and pieces, getting new nuggets of it. But they're the fools. It's so fun. This whole reality is so much fun, man. I love it. I love life. I really do. Okay, so we're going to do one card, and then I'm just going to call it a day, man. Call it a night. Appreciate each and every one of you for coming on here. It's been one hell of a ride. Let's Talk Tarot 5. I mean, we went on some tangents. All right. Serious. All right, one card. What is the overall message for everybody here watching Let's Talk Tarot number 5 without any attachments? Just like what's going on? What's the overall message? What can we get from all this? I hope it's a fun. Please make me laugh. Let's just have a fun. Let's do this. This has got to be fun. This has got to be fun right here. This has got to be fun. Fun card. What is the card? Fun card. What do we got? Bam! We got card number 46. 45/46. Pandora's box is tied to this card. You're in it. You're in Pandora's box. This is tied to our chromosomes, tied to our DNA. Adenine, cytosine, guanine, thymine. The two base pairs of our DNA, you're looking at it. The kingdom of God in Greek is tied to this tarot card. So that's the overall message I got for all of you, ladies and gentlemen. Just get out there. Forget about this nonsense, just craziness in the world. Greatest time to be alive. But, I mean, how much of a devil do you want to be? Just get out there and just have fun, man. Like the bottom of the deck. Look at the bottom. The futurist. This is Elon Musk's birth card at the bottom. Remember, the word Neuralink is 30, Demiurge is 30, Jehovah's 30. We're moving into the age of Aquarius, which is the electrical age. It ain't anything like the age of Pisces. You're becoming cyborgs. All of you are cyborgs. This cell phone guarantees that you're a cyborg. When you put it in your hand, you're now a cyborg. I got a ringing in my ear. Wow. But make the most of it, folks. I got my spirit animal over the left-hand side of me, the jaguar. Let's see, what do I want to play to end this? Well, let's talk, and you guys and gals can talk amongst yourselves. I don't know why I want to play it. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna. So let's end it with the Villagers of Ione City. This great band. This song's called The Age of Aquarius. This is one of my favorite songs for the past couple of years. So go support this band. I'm going to put this link in the description because I'm going to get a copyright for this, but I don't care. I don't monetize this. But go support this band. Go subscribe. The album is out of this world. It's amazing. Villagers of Ione City. They're amazing. I think they're from Greece. They're freaking amazing. But anyway, this is called The Age of Aquarius. So ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got for today. Thanks each and every one of you for supporting this channel. And if you want more material, head over to my Patreon. Just type in Decode Your Reality Patreon, and you can become a member for free. If you want to support this research, you become a paid member. You'll get a lot of the decodes I do not put out on public YouTube, but I do have material that I put out there for upcoming stuff, et cetera, et cetera. So just get over there and become a member, and we'll see you over there. But ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got for today. My name is Logan, Decode Your Reality. Until next time, we will see you later.